he down.
That one was spicy.
So the Warriors have to play 48 minutes.
So I think it's going 7. I have it. I have the Nuggets in 7.
Ant-Man, Batman, Watchmen, Lakers at 5.
Well, it's money time now.
What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? How you doing, man? Your boy King Speech is here in the building. Shout out to those. Shout out to y'all out there. So I'm gonna do a show today, and we got the game on live. It looked like Mitch hit these 2 free throws. So it looked like my stream is a little bit behind actual time, so everybody will be watching different. Yeah, Mitch hit the first one, so I got to hit the second one. Good money. So here you have, in the background, you have the live stream. I mean the live score and everything, and I'll be probably reacting a little bit, 20, 30 seconds behind what actually happens. The pace and score come down and score. So this is a hell of a barn burner pace, as most of the series has been. I think it's gonna come down to who plays some defense. So that looked like off the paces, but they said it was deflected by the Knicks. And see who scored here. Okay, so yeah, we way behind. Let me see if I can push my stream up to where it might be. I know you. Russell got caught.
Is the site going faster than?
Well, the site is going fast, and that's fine. That's fine because I'm gonna still react. The way but I'm gonna try to see because I'm on YouTube TV.
Okay.
This is the Knicks. It looked like the Knicks are exchanging baskets. Mitchell offensive rebound, kicks it out. Cat. Let's see if Cat goes all the way. Yeah, I'll give the. Oh my God! I was like, Mitch got them. Okay, so Mitch got our last 4 points. And they're gonna come down and score. But let me see if I can get 1 second because I'm doing it from See, I can put the move on Towns. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta turn it on here in the house. I'm just reading it off the ESPN screen, but I gotta watch this.
Offense we're playing, man. So I'm a little behind. The score will be. Siakam look like we get to stop here. Oh my God! An offensive rebound to Halliburton. Here we go. Towns the rebound. Knicks need a run, and Knicks need some stops. Definitely. Again, Indiana's coming out to play. I would. Oh God! Another careless pass by Brunson. Okay, so the Towns being aggressive tonight. So the Scarlet Town play was an and one. Yeah, good. I was joking on Instagram. You can't play poker with your boy Halliburton. I mean, you could play poker with your boy Halliburton because that expression on his face, man. This boy, he get dealt a full house. You're gonna see it all in his face.
All right.
So let's see if the Knicks tighten up the defense. Like I said, Indiana is showing up like this is a must win, and that's good for them. The Knicks have got to cut down on these live ball turnovers. I'm having about a deja vu. I remember, felt like I've been here podcasting again. It's the first time I've really live streamed a Knick game. Oh God, Mitch got beat to a rebound by Bradley. See, what I've been saying, one of the things is that I like. I mean, what Carlisle has done that Carlisle goes down his bench and he gets positive reaction. So obviously the Knicks in game 3 dusted off DeLon Wright and they dusted off Landry Shamet. As I've said, they need to put what's his name to bed. Campaign. I don't want to see Campaign no more. It was up RJD podcast. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Casual.
That's casual.
Yeah, that's casual.
Okay. So yeah, I've been saying, Tibbs got to play his bench. I've been saying this all year. Again, this is the 10 Toe Down podcast, where again we make takes. I mean, the takes that everybody's coming to like realize. I've been saying this all along. It's not about the guys being too tired. It's about the fact that you don't have. So they went 1 or 2 on the free throws, but it's about the fact that you don't have different looks. And the Knicks went with 15 different lineups. And Windhorst reported that 7 of them were brand new. So Brunson gets fouled here. 7 of them were lineups the Knicks haven't played all year, and obviously with DeLon Wright in there, with certain guys, probably Mitchell Robinson, and so and again that was a great defensive unit. So this is one of the knocks on Brunson, especially when he's in foul trouble. He is completely useless on defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah,
so
that game showed that.
Yeah, it showed it. I mean, I said he had his worst game. I was on with Zay. I was saying he had his worst game defensively. I mean, worst game, period, all around. He was just all around horrible. And, he did make the shots, and he made all his free throws, and he made the shots at the end. So he is a great closer. But all around, he had a bad game. But Halliburton is blazing tonight. I got to give him props without even know I feel he's a front runner. So Knicks making it free throws. It's the turnovers, especially the live ball turnovers. You cannot give them a turnover with the layup. You cannot give them extra shots at the basket. You just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and they've been offensive rebounding pretty good from what I see.
There you go, Brunson again in the crowd, got stripped. Yeah, he might have gotten fouled, but he needs to get out of them crowds. He needs to learn, No, okay. Halliburton did get a little bit of arm, but I'm not gonna beef on that. Yeah, I'm looking at a guy like Landry Shamet. I'm looking at a guy like Ariel Hukporti. Again, just for depth purposes. I saw that the game went a certain way when Karl-Anthony Towns pick up. Why does he pick up? My thing with Tim, you see Towns, you know how important he is to you offensively. Why do you let him get to 2 fouls so quickly? You get him the first one, okay. You know what? Let me come with Mitch here. Let me change my game plan. No, he's so rigid in his substitution pattern that and it's like you got to realize you got to get Towns. You got to try to get Towns with 2 fouls or 1 foul because you're gonna need him. And again, both of these players. Towns and Brunson are weak defensive players who become weaker when they're in foul trouble. Like, not only that, they cannot even challenge the ball because they're scared. You're scared they're going to get their 5th foul or 6th foul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my boys in my WhatsApp chat saying we don't run any plays. We're not running any plays. It's just like 2-man isolos, set and try to.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
Yeah, too much of it. It's too much of it. So. I've been saying, yeah, no problem. I'll be talking about myself. See if my boy my JB will get in here. He's supposed to be off. That's why we're doing a Tuesday instead of Saturday, Thursday we normally do. So we're gonna be moving around. I might get to the point where we do 2 shows in a week. You know what I'm saying? So. Especially now, this time of year, the finals is coming. I got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of news to talk about. But we are definitely going to get to the Falk versus Rich Paul there and their little mini war of words. I mean, wow, we haven't heard from David Falk in so long. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be the theme that because everybody is speculating what Michael Jordan will say when he goes to work for NBC. Next year and beyond, I guess. Everybody's speculating what will he say. Will he put his fans in check? Will he come at LeBron? And again, I don't think Jordan is too classy for all of that. Jordan is going to basically come out there and do what he helped do to the league, which is promote the league, have it grow. See, it was something that Falk said in there, and I wouldn't get into that. It was something that Falk said that once the salary cap came, and you had these collective bargaining agreements that the players will get a certain percentage of the revenue, and the owners will get the other percentage, or so that would go to the operating. The players had a responsibility to grow the league, because the more revenue the league takes in, the more money will be available for salaries. So he made a really good point there, and it's been like, so I think that's what Jordan will be all about. So they challenged it. Okay, so the Knicks did win this challenge, and that was a clear. I wouldn't have called. I wouldn't have challenged here, but again, if you really really know it and you see it, because it was an out of bounds play, the Knicks were able to challenge here. So Knicks got looked like the Knicks got the challenge. They got the foul. I don't know how many that is on Halliburton. He's just on the sideline. All right, so the Knicks are coming with Deuce McBride in the game. I like that. Deuce McBride has been the best player with the Knicks as far as plus minus goes. Mitchell Robinson didn't get many offensive rebounds in the first half. I didn't really expect the stat sheet too much. I was really looking to see if Halliburton really almost had a triple double. So here we are. Brunson will shoot 2 free throws. Knicks gotta make a run here. Knicks gotta make a run. We need some stops. No trading baskets. All right. Reggie, oh God, I can't take hearing Reggie, man. I can't take hearing Reggie. I'm so glad that I'm streaming. I have to say so. Then Brunson goes 1 or 2 here. Pacers again. They're just offensively, they are who they are, man. And I think I'm just gonna hope that the Knicks really put the lid on the basket in the fourth quarter for sure. Them to tie, keep it close here, and then Brunson with the bump off, drop it in. 5-point game. I see in the live score that they went up and they got another bucket. Keeping them off the threes at least. This is the difference between the Pacers here. So Halliburton, with that with the Urkel game, all those Urkel moves. Okay, so it looked like the Knicks got fouled here because and that's Brunson. See, I want you guys, and that should, they call it on the ground. But that should tell you guys, look, you want to say, last night on Days Live, I called the Knicks, I called SGA the MVP, the masturbator, the master foul baiter. And what he does is, again, he sells or the most incidental contact. Brunson will oversell actual contact. So, okay, you can say it's the same thing, but no, I would at least, and again, also, you see that Brunson made that shot. Brunson actually goes and score. He's not just flapping, flailing around. So that's the difference to me, as I see in the end of scores, to put them back up 7. But again, I'm watching it a little delayed. And so, yeah, unfortunately, I'm on YouTube TV. So tonight, whatever their ESPN feed is a little bit last night on ESPN, and I was watching the ESPN on ESPN News. I was kind of not that far behind actual action. This is a good offensive unit for them. They are playing this Boston set where everybody's outside, but they go inside. That's the kind of the difference. Yeah, Turner put a move on it. I was saying Turner has no moves. Looked like the Knicks got fouled again. Brunson, and they fouled him. Okay. Look, that one was another sell, but you're doubling around him and you're reaching. You're reaching. You got 2'6" guys around. You shouldn't reach on a 6'2" guy. Yeah, they say turn. Look, I've seen them call travel, double dribbles. Yeah, come on, that's clearly a foul, Matherin. Clearly. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's actual contact that he's selling. And then again, if you're reaching at his arm, you don't have to do that. When we got 2'6" guys, Matherin is 6'6" and Neesmith. Neesmith is 6'6". Tyler Burton is 6'6". What are we doing? So see who comes out down the stretch. That's one thing about, and I gotta make sure I be careful talking about Halliburton's down the stretch, because the last thing I need him to kill me with a clutch shot again. And he's made a couple of clutch shots, but I still don't think he's a great clutch player whatsoever. Because again, especially in these situations where it's a full court game, a half court game, he's not a good half court point guard in my opinion. Okay, great defense here. Downs with the rebound. Your boy's nervous. Again, your boy's nervous. This is a must-win for the Knicks. I will say this. If you go back to 95 and Bray steps out of bounds, why do players do that? That step, that back step. Why do players do that? Hart, this is 5 turnovers, Josh Hart. I love you, brother, but tonight your jump pass, you made 2 turn. He made 2 turnovers in the first half where you're throwing it up to the big man and you're throwing it up at chest level because you don't trust him to get. So Halliburton comes through. It's that step. Why take the step back? Get your first step. Get your step. Oh God, Brunson dribbling into the corner and picking it up. It is absolutely asinine. The turnovers that these guys are making. The Villanova boys are making the stupidest turnovers tonight. And it's pissing me off. Look, so how you see the double over here, and nobody, and he picks his dribble up. Why even go to the sideline? These young players under 35, I don't understand why y'all do that, man. Dribbling to the side, there's nothing but trouble there. And then you have no exit plan. You didn't see Halliburton standing there. So Halliburton, really, you just gifted him a steal. Hey, guy. This is one of them things, man. And again, for those that follow my channel, man, this is why, okay, the players are making some of these mistakes. But again, attitude reflects leadership. Tibbs is the undisputed leader of that team. He runs everything. Nobody gives him interference. And some of the mistakes that the Knicks are making, and it's just so uncharacteristic, and they're doing it at the biggest time. This is a chance to go to the finals, guys. Why are you running something? And that, to me, that just tells me often, keep the ball in the middle of the court. There's so much talent with the Knicks. Look, there's no exit plan. You're trying to get Neesmith one-on-one on baseline, but there's no, look at it's nothing but yellow jerseys around you. And then Halliburton is playing well today, so he got the right to talk his shit. But I hate to see that dude run his mouth, bro. I hate to see the dude. I like Deuce McBride in this game, man. Again. Again, we don't even go into it in shot motion. And okay, we get a foul clock violation. Or they call a foul. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, time to go second shot clock probably was off. They can't bail him out with this foul call. Yeah, look, Kings Beats keeps it real, man. Okay, so they did give him the foul. I'm looking at wonder what the ladies. Either Cat missed the free throws, either he's okay. They're looking to see. Okay, still looking at it. The foul. Okay. Oh, it's very close. Very close. Yeah, he clearly didn't get the shot off. So it's like it would be a side out as well. So because he's not in, you can't call a foul. I mean, unless you can't give him continuation on what would be a shot. So the Knicks will get 14, take it out. Tell missed the free throw as I'm looking at the. Oh boy, so it's sort of a borderline situation. Yeah. See, we got three in here, man. Shout out, guys. Shout out where y'all from, man. I'd like to see who is in here. You know, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So he made one or two. Again, Knicks need stops. Knicks need to finish this quarter very strongly. He missed the first one. Like I said, he's looking unsure of himself. He is funny, man. What did he catch from goddamn? Was he on the phone with Ant Man last night? The Ant Man, for those that seen the Minnesota game, I was on streaming with 93's Day. Man, that Ant Man, and then he came out and said I was making the right plays, bro. This is what's wrong with this generation, man. You are supposed to be a bulldog. No one wants to see you pass, bro. This is the problem. This is why these guys, when y'all sit there and talk about great players and this, that, and the third, y'all were that damn great. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all don't got no dog. Y'all don't understand. I didn't take enough shots to struggle. That's not you. Yeah, that's the problem. Not being aggressive is worse than missing shots. Nice moves, Towns, but not being aggressive like this idea of the shot counters. Like star players can get as many shots as they need to. Good steal by Brunson. He finally did make a contribution defensively. Oh boy. Dumb pass by McBride. Go to the basket. Go to the basket. Make them foul you. I know they got a great shot blocker down there in Turner, but you got to make them either block your shot over the back on Obi. Ay. So again, Knicks need to finish this quarter strong, and they need to play the fourth quarter of their lives. Realize you got to treat this as an elimination game. Bottom line, that's what OKC did. Well, no, OKC didn't treat it as an elimination because they were still up. But you got to treat this. I mean, that's what Minnesota should have done. Treat this like an elimination game, like there is no tomorrow. In fact, unfortunately, and again, unfortunately, they're two stars. And a fouls and then one. Jesus Christ. My deal. If you gave up the lane, why are you fouling? Why? Well, okay, that's Brunson. You're not gonna. If you're not stopping the layup, what are you doing, Brunson? Brunson is making some of the most bonehead plays I've ever seen. Dude, what is going on? That was just a bonehead play to give him that bucket, that extra point. Brunson, you gotta make up for it. And they hit it, the foul baiter. The foul baiter is at it again. So let's see. Makes a free throw. So he makes the both of them. Let's see. I'm gonna catch up after, man. I don't know. I don't know if I really don't know how these streams go because I know if I turned it on my phone, I can't do a podcast at the same time. It would but yeah, the Knicks got a defensive line up in here to finish the quarter. Towns is playing well, but he just doesn't look as crisp. I don't know if he's tired, and the Pacers come back and hit a three. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I mean, all his fouls have been contact. It's just they've been, that's not going to rattle Brunson. But the Pacers get a three here. The Knicks come back and get a score. Again, these trading baskets. The Knicks have got to put the lid. They give up 100, and this is going to be my theme too, man. We're scoring a lot because that Obi got away with a walk. Halliburton with a fucking grasshopper three. Knicks don't secure the rebound on the Halliburton miss. I see later on, but I'm watching it live here. Brunson with a bucket. Yeah, we need. Oh, the Knicks assist total 14. It's got 91 points. It's horrible, and that's been one of the themes, man. We gotta everything we're doing here, whatever win or lose, and they basically score 100. Oh yeah. Oh, so it was a foul. Oh God, man. 2 fouls here that we just did not need. We didn't need. We was gonna box out a rebound. You're not in it. Why are you tumbling with Benedict Mathurin? Again, man, this is just. Oh, yeah. And this is the thing. Like Reggie Miller, Benedict Mathurin got 12 points in 7 minutes. The way that what's the name, and again for a guy who grew the Knicks on having a great bench, the fact that the Thibodeau is just not using his bench with this archaic rotation thing you're running, man. Shout out to Timothy Miller. Hey, listen, man. This has been a theme with the Knicks. The Knicks, as I told y'all, the Knicks can't walk down leads, but we gotta pick it up defensively, man. We definitely gotta pick it up defensively. So here comes Brunson running the last play. Double team comes over. There's no real plan. Deuce with a three. It looks like it's gonna miss. It was a foul. Are you kidding me? Oh boy. Oh my God. The Knicks are just. I don't understand how you call this. I don't know. Let me see what goes on here. Deuce would have nice to make this three. Okay, so he pushes Bradley in the back. That's what they call. Jesus. The Villanova boys are failing right now, bro. The Villanova boys are failing. These Nova boys are not. Yeah, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough. It was enough. The guy's 7 feet. So Miller bricks the first free throw, makes the second, and it looked like we go into that third quarter. Ay, man, bro. What did Fat Joe and Jadakiss say, man, bro? We need our heart medication to watch the Knicks when you're over 40, man. Yo, no truer words were spoken, man. The brothers could have spit bars on that shit, man. That's what it is, man. Well, I say I don't get too high, I don't get too low. Nova boys, man, y'all got to give me the quarter of your lives. And Towns, another repeat of Game 4. Everybody, and this is the problem with Brunson, man. It's too much centered on him. The turnovers. If I go back and look at the turnovers we made in the third quarter, That's the why it's not a 3-point game. I would be so much happier. I'd be so much more comfortable if it was a 3-point game here, man. This is wild, man. This is wild. So let's see what we got, man. This fourth quarter, we gonna have to, this is like you got to like the season on the line. Now look, the Knicks could conceivably win. They could conceivably come back, win the game in the Garden, and win it in the field house and come because this is what the Knicks did actually in 95, 30 years ago. The Knicks were down, after blowing that lead with Reggie Miller, the 9 points in 8 seconds, or 8 points in 9 seconds. They wound up down 3-1. Patrick Ewing pretty much after they won game 5, Patrick Ewing guaranteed that they would win the series, right? And they went into Indiana and they won game 6. And then they came back in game 7 and that game went down the line. And that's the infamous Patrick Ewing blown finger roll. He blew the finger roll at the buzzer. Again, I've always defended Ewing because the Knicks played better. I felt they were a better team than Indiana the whole time. 94, 95, 96, 97, the Pacers didn't even make the playoffs. So, the Knicks were a better team than Indiana at that point. 98 was when Indiana finally rebuilt back, got to game 7 of the finals with the conference finals with Jordan, almost won that. And then 99, Knicks beat the Pacers in the conference finals. And then 2000 was when they finally got to the finals. So, look, the Knicks the Knicks of this Penny and the Pacers team is an upstart. They've been building the same way. Again, Indiana, to me, the coach has been doing a much better job than Tibbs. And that's why they're in the position they're in. Obviously, the choke. Obviously not, again, that game came down to OG Anunoby dribbling the ball out, bro. Dribble the ball out. Make them, you have the 32 seconds on game clock, 22 seconds on the shot clock. The instruction should have been not forget getting the basket. Now, we needed to score, yes. But scoring 2 seconds in, no. There was no reason for us to score that quickly. There was no need. We didn't need to score that quickly. The point was to get. Matter of fact, Indiana was almost because they're either going to have to foul you. Because we were up 5. I still that really. I'm telling you, if we don't go to the finals, that's the one player we're going to look at, and that's between Brunson and Anunoby there. I know Brunson had to get the ball out, but Anunoby has to know time and score situation too. Yeah, Halliburton's playing his ass off. He's out playing Brunson tonight. He hasn't been for the series, but he definitely has been tonight. Brunson with just bad defense on that Halliburton 3. Just horrible defense on that Halliburton 3. You got to focus. You got to focus, Brunson. Yeah, let's go. We needed. I mean, we had so many opportunities. Blown free throws. Again, that was the theme of the first game. That's the theme of game 1. Blown free throws. Let's see if we can get a run on that bench. Brunson's out of the game as well. They look good. They got okay. OG, we need that shot and that drops. Okay. Oh boy, they're just keeping it. They keeping the pace on us. Yeah, you can't let that happen, McBride. I know McConnell's a terrific player, but you cannot let him walk you down in the post like that. OG would turn on them. They send their help really good. And next we're going to be that ball anyway. Wait a minute. Why did the shot clock go off the ball hit the rim? Whatever. I see Knicks have got to get stops, man. And I see Indiana comes to score here as well. Yeah, look, their offense is just really the Knicks' offense has been the issue, man. An offensive rebound. Offensive rebound. We got Towns in the game. We got hard in the game. They get an offensive rebound. But I see the Knicks come down and get a 3. So it's a 10-point game. Again, if we're changing baskets, this is not how it's gonna work. They foul Shepard and give up a layup on the inbound play. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you see the frustration. There's no communication. The defensive quarterback is not in the game. I see it picks is coming scoring. So they're 3 plays ahead of me now. Landry with the 3. He's the one that hit it. Oh, they come back and score again, so I'm sure it was a turnover. Oh boy, this is the Knicks are blowing this, man. Look at this again, another defensive gaff. Another defensive gaff. And the Bronx is not even in the game. They can't get a stop. It's just oh damn it, bro. Breaks in the air. All right, I'm sure the Knicks will score a timeout after the Siakam 3. 15-point lead. Time's running out, bro. The lead is we're not gonna walk them down 15 in 6 minutes. The run has to start here. The run has to start here, bro. I mean, bro, this is what you gotta where is the intensity? The Knicks real is and that's what I'm saying. Us blowing that game and blowing game 2 because I felt we blew both games. We never put our foot on the gas. We never had our control in game 2. It came down to the end, but we didn't make the plays. And Knicks are playing instead of this being a must win, they were happy to get one. Again, the mental mistakes. Are they tired? I don't know, man. The mental mistakes, the dumb live ball turnovers. Jesus, I'm come on. Again, Brunson, you killed me. Go at the end of that 3rd quarter. Why are you driving into the corner? Why are you driving into the corner? And when you do it, why is your head not up seeing that Halliburton was sitting there waiting on you? You took your eye off of him and he came and ripped you from behind. With no plan. He was going. This is the problem with Brunson, and I'm going to call him out. He goes too much for a shot, hoping to residually pass the ball. Passing is the second resort. This is why I say there's no point guards in this league, in this new league, man. They're not really point guards because point guards got to understand. It's like a read option quarterback, man. You got to know whether to run or pass. You got to know whether to pass or shoot the rock. And you don't have to do either. You know what I'm saying? In basketball, that's the thing. In football, you have to do one or the other. But in basketball, you don't have to do either. You can keep dribbling, you got to put the ball where it belongs. You can keep dribbling in basketball, because in football, they're going to tackle you. But you got to make quick decisions. That's why point guard is very akin to a quarterback. And there are not that many real point guards who are quarterbacks in today's area. Died with Chris Paul. Well, he's still there, and he's still this is why I was saying all season, Knicks need to get it's funny, it's either get it with Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook. Do one of the two. But we damn sure got to upgrade that position, man. We got to upgrade back our point guard. Plus, we got to give Brunson somebody that might be able to put him off the ball more, that you can trust to run some offense through. Traditionally, it's real point guards. Point guards that understand it's not your job to just get assists and steals. You got to get the team in the sets fast. You got so many things you got to do. It's all about timing. Again, that play by Brunson, bro. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna trust me. I'll make a video on it, and I'm gonna call it out. And the Knicks gotta make a run here, man. Knicks have got to make a run here. Knicks have got to score. Siakam having a big series. He was averaging game 1, and then the end of that game in overtime he came alive. He was in game 2. Pretty good in game 3, and he's been used tonight. So again, Towns. Oh, Nichols got to get stops. Period. Nichols got to get stops. So I'm reading that OG's going to hit this 3, so I'm trying to see where they go. Okay, real. Okay, Hart with the offensive rebound. Hits it to OG. OG with a step back makes an impossible shot. I don't even like. We made the 3, and I completely hate this play. I completely hate the play, but we made it 3, so I'll take it. He's made a lot of big shots this year. A lot of them. Again, we need stops, homie. We need stops. Double dribble, another double. Thank God they calling double dribble. I didn't know it was in the rule book anymore. PJ McConnell with the double dribble. No, there's not too much pace. It's too much execution, God. It's not the pace. The Knicks can play with the pace. It's the execution. Their paces are executing a lot better than the Knicks are. Oh, Towns gets another dumb foul. Like, bro. And again, I know, bro, okay, yeah. So when he when he hooks you, you tried to lift him up, and that's what they got him. 15 turnovers for the Knicks. We cannot. We don't turn over the ball as much, and we're doing it against a team that's not a good defensive team. They can play good defense in Spurs. Good steal here. Good steal here, but we don't. We're jogging back. That's what Tibbs was telling them. You know, Wright is giving us good minutes. He's giving us some good. He even hit a 3 tonight. Complete. Like we're gonna. Okay. Wow, how was that not a call? How was that not a foul? Okay. My God.
Hey, you see that? OG
Yeah.
got killed on that play.
Got killed.
Man,
So I don't want to hear anybody talk about refs. Man, I don't want to hear nobody talk about refs, man.
Man, that was a blatant foul.
I mean, right on his back. But again, then we still get the ball and still get a chance to get a beautiful defensive play. Oh God, just a ball bounce. Let's see. I'm still a couple of plays behind. Oh my God, how was that not a travel? And now he's trying to act like somebody hit him in the face. You fell to the ground. They call. Oh my God! So now, boy, they call a foul on Hart. Look, he completely falls to the ground. Nobody's done anything, and the Hart just falls on him. But he fell. That should be a travel.
Yeah,
he fell.
That should be. If that was in any other gym, that would be a travel.
Yeah, he slipped, and that should be a travel. Oh, the Knicks got a challenge. Do they use it here?
Man, they
at least it's a thought out.
He's gonna complain about these refs if it keeps going like this.
Okay, now this is absolutely nonsense. This is now when we so like do the NBA really want Indiana to play in what's name this bad?
I don't know why.
Okay, all right. You got caught with the little thank you grab. But come on, man. As much as y'all letting them get away with. And so now Hart, Robinson, and Carl and Towns got 4 fouls.
This is crazy.
Chairman and Wright go to the bench. They come back. You want to talk about floppers? They're just walking. Again, the refs are ruining the game, man. It's just fucking crazy. No. Then where's the push off there on Mathurin? And where's the foul? Hart has 5 here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Gonna have to let Hart play it out because
Yeah.
if anything, your backup Hart is gotta be Precious and Chua, just if in case you need somebody, but you're gonna probably just come with Bridges and OG the rest of the half. Brunson, I wouldn't even bring Brunson in for another 6 minutes. So 6 minutes ago. Brunson's already in. I saw Brunson's already in. I thought the Deuce was running up. We need stops here, but maybe we just need buckets. Matherin has been big again. The performances he's been getting out of his bench is why Carlisle's a better coach. And see, that's the thing. If Carlisle is going to be a better coach than Tom Thibodeau, we can't win a championship that way. We can't because I say Carlisle at best is the top 10 coach. And there's still coaching in the coaching pool. He's good. He won a championship. Oh, another dumb turnover. Oh my God. We get it back, but nobody's sprinting back. Now, so your feet might be ahead of mine.
Yeah.
Look. Oh God.
This is getting sloppy.
Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, let it go. Let it go hard. I know you want to get a rebound and pad your stats. Let it go. Nick's looking tired.
Oh, nice pass. Yeah.
So I see the Knicks get 100, so we got fouled. And you ahead of the. Yeah, okay, you right behind me. Or right ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm watching on Max right now. HBO Max, whatever. I got it on the TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matherin playing wild and being rewarded for it. Yeah, I see this. But he's been playing well, and that's the thing, man. If guys are going to be aggressive, I give them getting. Well, I mean, if the guys are just selling non-contact, I'm not like the fouls that they get is just ridiculous. So Hard goes 1 or 2 here, or they just substitute a lot of guys in. Yeah. Knicks had to make this harder, man. Blowing that game 1, we would be the worst we would have been up to. Again, I will say that I'm wrong. The Pacers were a lot better team than I gave them credit for. I should have looked at the Pacers, the way Hart missed the second one. I should have looked at the Pacers the way they finished up the season. They did have a couple of impressive wins. They pretty much did what Minnesota did and, finished up the season on a hot streak. I know mid-season they were playing awful. They were like a damn near 500 team, while the Knicks were pretty much 10, 15, 20 over most of the season. Oh God. So there's a lot of size in there with Minnesota with Indiana. And that's making it hard for the Knicks to finish at the basket. Look, we need a Towns replay. Remember, Towns scored 20 points in 7 minutes. In the first 7 minutes of game 4. We need him to do that here. We need to run. I mean, and that's the thing, man. Again, this is going to be the thing. Like, offensively, are we good enough with Tom Thibodeau coaching the team? Again, if we're going to be a mediocre defensive team, which we've been a mediocre defensive team tonight, and it's a must-win game, then what do we need Tibbs to coach for? Because between his rigid substitution patterns and his really pretty much his offense is like it's too much ISO. There's too much ISO, and you're not using the good players. You know what I mean? I haven't heard back from JB. Oh, yeah, he saw me. All right, yeah, man. I see JB. I don't know if he's home or not. Maybe he was out. But he might come up in here in a minute. After those, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna talk about the David Falk and the Rich Paul war words and there's a couple other things going on. But next up, look again. I'm gonna be just as amped for Game 5 Game 5 will be Thursday, so I'm already planning that out. Knicks need a big finish here. They put themselves again with the stupid turnovers. The stupid turnovers in the third quarter. The third quarter has been every time we every time we've reduced the lead, if we've been playing well in the third quarter, then we would finish it off in the fourth. Yeah, we're just exchanging baskets, exchanging bad plays, turnovers. I mean, damn, Josh Hart, bro, you took a step back on the drive. Why do people take a step back? Like when I go, I mean, you get in triple set. I know you're trying to. You took a step back and stepped out of bounds. Why? I mean, this also shows you that the Knicks are well scouted, especially the Nova boys. The Nova boys were bad tonight. And then with DiVincenzo, no, DiVincenzo was actually good tonight, last night. So you would think that would have rubbed off. DiVincenzo and Nickeil Alexander-Walker pretty much carried the Wolves to almost win that game. And Ant-Man just not taking any shots the last minute of the first quarter, taking 13 for the game. Again, don't tell me you made the right plays. That's bullshit. That's the LeBronification of the league. I hate to put LeBron in there, but yeah, bro, sometimes you need to be aggressive. We need a dog in you. You know the situation. The season is basically on the line. You got to go down to OKC. At least the Knicks come back to New York. You got to go back to OKC and keep your season alive. You know, we could have 2 gentlemen sweeps in the conference finals. And then we'll be waiting a long time for the NBA finals. Shit, it'll be late in the goddamn June. It starts June the 3rd or something like that. Jesus. The assists are disgusting for the Knicks. The assists are horrible. Like, boy. Give up another 3. I want another bucket. Hold on. Oh boy, you let Urkel Halliburton get a layup. The Knicks, the defensive intensity is not there. We're softer defensively because Cat got the 4 fouls, and then again, this Brunson stuff. Anunoby slips up, gets fouled, but should have had that dunk. Beauty who. Halliburton showed up tonight. The Nova boys they're just not. And then OG's smoking free throws. We're smoking free throws now. Ay. Yeah, man. And he smoked both of them. Didn't get the dunk and smoked both of them. Wow. Okay. There goes Urkel Grasshopper. Knicks will come down and hit a 3. See who makes it. Another, oh my God. Out of bounds. Driving into the yellow. I mean, again, this is like we need a heads-up player. We need a heads-up player. Chris Paul is going to be 40 next year. Don't want him. I mean, I know the good and bad I'll get with Westbrook. All right. Okay, looks like it's going to be who makes this 3. Those Bridges. Even our made 3s don't look like they're energizing plays, man. All right. Halliburton again. Halliburton is where you make him an average guy, but average player. Okay, so it's another foul. I see the Knicks 106. Oh my God! Oh Lord Jesus! Is that a play on the ball? Huh. Oh, look, it's not a play on the ball though. That is not a play on the ball. Okay, whatever. At least OG comes and makes these two. Next knee stops, guys. Period. Next knee stops. Let me see something real quick. I'm here. Um, like I said, Maine hit me. He saw my message. So, in a second, let me give him a call.
Just an observance, but Indiana is a terrible half court team. I mean, they just if you slow them down, they have no idea what to do.
Oh, I'm back. Okay. Okay, I'm back. I was calling Jermaine's on JB. So are you here? Are you here, CW? Uh, so yeah, Knicks are hitting some again. This is in striking distance, but this is reminding me a lot of game two, man. This shit is reminding me a lot of game two. The Knicks have got to they have got to energize here. The defense has got to be, you know, it's too early to do all. I mean, this is look the Nova boys, Cat and OG. This is the lineup that's got to go with. If Josh Hart fouls out, then I would come with Deuce McBride. That pushes do we see Mitch? We don't see Mitch until we need stops. Until we start playing offense, defense. So right here, man, the Knicks have got to lock in defensively. Brunson, you have got to lock in defensively. The best thing you can do is stay in front of your man and keep your man off the offensive glass. Same thing with Cat. Again, give contests. Don't let Urkel get down the lane. Don't let Urkel get down the lane, man. So they were 15. Knicks down 6. Knicks got a way of hanging in, fighting back. Again, we need stops. Completely need stops, man. Yeah, I see. I'm about 34 seconds on the actual time behind. Ay. Season is melting away. I don't understand why my stream is so behind, man. Ay. Okay, 252. So I'm trying to read on the screen. It says two. Thought it said 232. Give it up an offensive rebound. Give it up an offensive rebound. Look, there's a lot of grabbing down there. Mm. So 1 of 2 here for Turner. I guess that's somewhat of a victory. Boy. Come on, guys. Knicks have missed 6 free throws tonight. Ken Brunson with the picking up his dribble too soon. And again, we need Cat in the middle of the floor. Why is he over there? Oh, you see, everything has been hard. They called an offensive foul. I didn't like that call at all. I don't like that call at all. I don't like that call at all. No, yeah, I guess so. Oh boy. Yeah, like I said, the energy. The Knicks don't have no. They're not getting much separation at all. Carl in town gets a foul where he's being pushed, and it looks like he's hurt. Oh my God, bro. Timothy Miller, I would say, oh boy, wait a minute. We got Towns is hurt. Doesn't look like anything that bad. Yeah, Towns did get pushed, so we might get a proximate offensive foul on here. Yeah, good challenge here. I'll say great coaches. Great coaches still in the pool. I still think. I think Kerr's a very good coach. Everybody would talk about the 4 championships. Popovich obviously is retired. He's done. Um, I think I'm a great coaches. Udoka's a great coach. I guess I got to give Missoula, but he got kind of exposed. Um, Carlisle is very good. Malone won the championship with that team. Nobody expected. Uh, it definitely ain't no legendary coaches still out there coaching, man. There definitely ain't no legendary coaches. Kerr, I guess you can call it 4 championships. I mean, I hate. He's a great coach. I still think he's a lot to be desired. Like, I don't think Kerr could have ever built a team. I don't think Kerr could come in and change the program. I'll put it that way. He came in and had already a team that had a couple of battles, and everything kind of broke right for him. Turner did push. Turner did push him, and look, you see it right here. You see it right there. You see him extend the arm right there. Yeah, Knicks needed that call here. Knicks needed that call. Yeah, look, yeah, they do fire that again. I think Mark Jackson, who's not getting even interviews. There's a lot of stuff with that too, where just certain guys are not getting anything, but Towns is in pain, man. So again, the plays we were running, I'm gonna question Tibbs. The plays we were running were horrible plays. Okay, stop showing it, Towns. If you're gonna play, I know who ain't a legendary coach, JJ Redick. I know who ain't a great coach, JJ Redick. He's coached better than I thought, but he got exposed a lot in the playoffs, right? And again, you know, certain things that Redick should have read better with the Lakers, but he did a good job to get them to 51 wins. I will say that. Oh, he got them to 50 win, 50 and 32. Yeah, come on, we got to run a great play here. Nick's ball. Udoka, right? Udoka's the guy that built the team, and Missoula came in and won a team that Udoka built. That's why I think Udoka is a great coach. But they won't. They won't say he is because he didn't win a championship. Uh-uh. Good block. He's and now I don't know, man. The Knicks leg, boy. We got a war we wasn't expecting, and blowing that game one, bro, put us way behind the eight ball. Yeah, oh yeah, damn it. He falls on OG's freaking right leg ankle. My God, we don't need this. Well, thank God, there's gonna be a lot of cuts and bruises, man. Oh Lord. They call a foul. And Hart is out. Oh yeah. Hart is fouled out. Again, this has been here all night. Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. Again, like I said, and for, oh my God, there was an offensive foul on Siakam with the elbow, with the push off. Again, these referees are horrible. Hey man, look, Knicks again. I'm gonna say this: Knicks have been in this position before, down 3-1, coming back to New York, got to win, got to come back down to the field house. As I said, the Knicks got to get 2 in the field house. So now we gotta defend home court, and then we gotta get this potentially to a game 7. Oh yeah. Halliburton finally got a triple double. Brunson wasn't great tonight. Knicks going with Landry Shamet because we need offense. These are the things that Tibbs is doing. He is making some good substitutions in these last 2 games. But again, I needed this to be in a habit. Both of Tyler Siakam's threes bouncing. Again, look at this. Like 9 points, 90 seconds. Again, I'm gonna say it. Our season is not on the line. We come home. We gotta win. Yeah, Bridges is missing because Bridges is better on a standstill. Bridges is better on a standstill. Corner threes. He's almost automatic from there, and we're getting him. And offense, the defense is like, okay, we get it. We get the rebound because up ahead of the OG. Turner fouled out. Oh, that's big. Uh, 7-point game here. Remember, we saw what we saw in game 1. No leaders, but the Knicks are just not running offense comfortably, man. Everything is tight here. An offensive team rebound. I'm reading. Oh my God, rebound. When I say rebound is the name of the game, man. Rebounding is the name of the game, and the Pacers go up 10. That's a wrap tonight. I'm throwing in the towel, man. I hope JB come in real soon, man, because You know, you can't give up second chance points here. Okay, 2.7. Okay, that's what happened. They stripped it out, but then you give up a three with 2.7 to go, which is again not defending the inbounds play at all. Letting OB top. It ain't that apropos. The guy that Thibodeau would not play consistent, even when he had chance to. They the guy that he would not play just put a dagger on the next season. Bad play. Brunson going 1-on-3. Why are we not fouling him? So we're gonna waive the because everybody's in foul trouble. That's the next problem. That's the next problem. That's it. White towel time. Red flag time. I mean, gotta win a game. Gotta win a game 5. Job's not done. Let them celebrate like it's over. Oh yeah. Tyrese Halliburton was big tonight. Brunson wasn't. Brunson showed you his limitations, man. Brunson showed you his limitations. They came out with, see, look, they can come out like they got accomplished something. Knicks have gotta fight back. They gotta nurse all our wounds. We gotta play better. I see Mr. John Halliburton up acting proper in the owner's box up in the luxury suite. 32, 12, and 15. That was huge. Look, he's not overrated. I will say that. He's not a great point guard, in my opinion. I'll still say that. But he's not overrated. He's a good player. He's a good player who can play the point guard position. That's what I'll give Tyrese Halliburton. Because again, my standard on point, I don't even think there's like 4 or 5 point guards left in the league, man. And I'm talking about real point guards. Knicks blew this in the third quarter for sure. The turnovers. I mean, God, guys. Look, we might be a season away, man. We might be a couple of moves away. Yeah, I was just giving out, look, 32, 12, and 15. I don't care what my critiques of his game. That is absolutely, that's a monster performance. You can't, at 32, 12, and 15, there's no way to tell me that he didn't play big. He came out aggressive. He came out running the offense, playing with a purpose. Something the Knicks didn't do. The Knicks never took a hold of this game. We never got stops. Cat. Yeah, that's it. Cat has to learn how to not to foul, folks. I mean, this is like because again, and this is where Patrick Ewing needs to be in a building to tutor this guy. Get your like how many big games did Patrick Ewing play where he had to guard legendary other centers and he didn't foul. He got through the game and he got through a 20 and 20. You know what I'm saying? So props to the Pacers, man. They're proven. I can't. They're proving to be a better team right now. Right now, they're playing better. Right now, I'll say this right now. They're now 11-3 in the playoffs. They played the best basketball. Even the OKC Thunder are 11-4. So look, he's Triple H. Look, Brunson, man, I don't need no WWE storylines where Halliburton is the new fucking Trae Young, man, because they tried that bullshit with Trae Young before. When Sami Zayn was still a heel, no turnovers. He absolutely outclassed Brunson tonight. He outclassed Brunson tonight. 0 turnovers because the Nova boys with all them goddamn turnovers, man. The Nova boys with the inconsistent play and all the turnovers. So on the game 5, man. Listen, I've been here before. When I tell you guys, man, again the famous before the famous Patrick Ewing missed finger roll. The Knicks were down 3-1. The Knicks were down 3-1 to Reggie's Pacers. And we won game 5 at home. And we went in the field, Conseco Fieldhouse back then. And and actually it was Market Square Arena. They wasn't even Conseco Fieldhouse. It was Market Square Arena back in 95. And we won it. Brunson, you got to play better. Brunson, you getting all the love, man. You get more love than Aaron Judge. You get more love than Juan Soto and Pete Alonso right now in the town. You gotta come in and have a great game. It's a shame that it comes down to this because the Knicks blew a game, but we have to steal another one. We stole one, we have to steal two. You know, again, this is the thing, man. The Knicks make it like Fat Joe and what's the name said, man. The Knicks gotta make everything hard, bro. We make everything hard. I can't get mad at Bridges too much for his defense. A lot of the buckets that Halliburton got was the whole team breaking down, not just him. You know, I can't get that mad at Bridges, bro. But offensively, they just didn't bring it. The Nova boys didn't bring it. I mean, Josh Hart with a lot of stupid turnovers tonight. He hustled his ass off, but a lot of stupid turnovers here. So you know, okay, we're gonna hear a lot of things. And look, the Pacers getting to another finals before the Knicks. They got to the 125 years ago on us. If they get to this one, I can't live with it. Look, the Knicks have got to show some character and heart. I know it's, you know, their confidence is probably shaking right now. I can't put this loss on one person. Yeah, I saw it, and I was the first one to comment on it, and yet my comment got no reactions. Usually, when you're the first one to comment on something, you know. But I put up like what Anthony Edwards said. I'm gonna address that real quick, you know, because again, the Knicks are just on the game 5 out. You'll hear from me on the optimistic Knicks fan about what the Knicks need to do, and I still think we could win the series, but we got to play 3 immaculate games. We got to play 3 games where we get with these guys, and Timpson's got to use the whole team. What Anthony Edwards said. I didn't get enough shots, bro. They don't give you shots in the NBA. What? Why are these young boys? Why are you generation X, Y, and Z cat? No, when you generation Y and Z cats. Actually, more generation Z and a little bit of late generation Y. Why do you guys look at the game as if you get shots when you're Anthony Edwards and it's a must-win game? You take shots. What did my man Avon Barksdale say? We don't buy corners, we take corners. When he came out in season 3 of The Wire, we don't buy corners, we take corners. You take shots. You had the freedom to do whatever when you sat there and saw what's SGA going for 40. How the hell are you taking 13 shots, bro? Yeah, you know, they shadow banned my comment. They see me like I'm the one that told Zay to go to make a video on Ant-Man. He made it. He hit me up before he went to work tonight. I'm the one that told Zay, you ain't make a video in a minute. You got to make one on Ant-Man, bro. Belt to ass. And he got him. So, again, you the legend killer. You took out 2 legends. And then you're playing, like, again, I didn't like the way he played. I think Ant-Man had 1 game where he was just a monster. You can't do that. In this series, there's no, last year, Derrick Jones took over. You can't, the age, I don't want to hear about the age. And I don't want to hear about him not getting this far in the playoff before. He was that far last year. So, I mean, look, the referendum, the series is not over, but I think the Knicks, if we don't win, which it looks like, the chances of us winning are probably a long shot. If anybody does believe in this squad, I'll tell you this: it's 10 toes down. I'm kind of happy to get this far, but now I'm fucked up because we got this far. We passed the unbeatable Boston Celtics, and we had a team that I thought we were better than, and they're playing better than us. Clearly, they're clearly playing better than us. The Knicks are now 9-7 in the playoffs. They're playing. They're 11 now. Again, the two teams they caught major losses. Right? Can't get mad at them for that. Again, Cleveland, their situation where guys didn't show up in a game too. You know, guys didn't show up. Guys didn't even suit up in the game too. Including the one that just won. JB's in the building. All right.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? What's going on, man?
Yeah,
Look, one of the young soldiers gotta take it on the chin today, man. Now look, your other young soldier, Mr. Caruso. Mr. Caruso has been huge, you know, but Josh Hart, no, and again, I can't really. Josh Hart has been terrific this series. Him even taking the demotion, which again, he's gonna get his minutes anyway. So he knew that. Getting Mitch in there would help set the tone defensively. But he played well tonight. The problem, the turnovers. I could say he hustled his ass off. Randall has been great. Randall's been great. Last night he wasn't. Now everybody's talking about Randall and Angel Reese, which is again bullshit. But yeah, man, the Knicks are still got a chance. Again, like I was saying back in '95, 30 years ago, we were in a situation where we went down 3-1 at Ewing, and this is on Brunson now. Brunson, we gonna need you to play like the Terminator. We're gonna need you to we gonna need you to play like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, and the freaking T-1000.
Yeah, man. It's well, what hurt the Knicks? They lost that game one, man. They lost that game one, man.
We got to the point where we had to steal a game coming back.
That killed it because if you win that first one, okay, you may split, but you figure that the Knicks could regain home court, but yeah, that game one, man, and as for the playoffs itself, man, I don't have no qualms. I really haven't had a chance to watch the game.
It's been a great playoff, man.
Yeah,
it's been a great playoff, especially without that guy, bro.
Well, see the thing. The thing is, I came across it was that odd couple on Fox Sports. Someone on Fox Sports said that whoever wins this championship, I think that was Rob Park. Whoever wins this championship is going to be one of the worst champions ever. The problem that a lot of people are having trouble with is there's a changing of the guard. A lot of times there's a change in the guard, man. You want to try to diminish what's going on because you're trying to uphold one individual, and he keep coming up short more often than not. And like I said, kudos to all four teams, man. Like I said, man,
that's the future. These teams are going to be here to stay. Yeah. Cleveland, a lot of moves will be made. It's going to be a big off season. Look, it's going to be a lot. Look, over the summer, there's going to be a lot to talk about because I want guys to understand where the league is going. And again, we're going to get into the main subject because Mr. Falk brought up a lot of things, man. See, you can just see the fact that Falk. You can see how much. And I don't want to do this like LeBron and Clutch Sports and them. They appeal to a lot of the dumb public. Like Bron fans, I'm sorry, man. Bron fans, Bron section was
the least common denominator.
Yeah, the lowest common denominator. Yep. And look, I believe this is actually like the 70s in terms of competitive balance and but the thing is that the league is actually marketed better than it was in the 70s. So this actually should be a goal because you have a situation where you're going to have about 10 teams. 10 teams and maybe 2 or 3 teams on the outside of that could really feel like their team could compete for a championship. So the idea of them calling this team, whoever wins, wait a minute, OKC will have won 68 games. If they win a championship, and that's probably my pick right now today.
A lot of it too is they kind of resent the fact that now, like I said, New York, they're in a major market, largest media market, but they built their team legitly. So in essence, see, how can I put this? They're resenting that these small market teams to smarten up, because for years, man, they got fleeced out a lot of deals and stuff. So now what has happened, and when we try to relay to certain people that that bubble chip was really to me it symbolized the beginning of the changing of the guard, because the team that won the bubble, they was the oldest team in the league. Whereas you had a plethora of teams, like the Knicks was trying to reestablish themselves. Indiana was down for a couple years after they lost Paul George, right? And then Oladipo got hurt. So they was kind of like right there, a little bit below 500 whatnot. But all at the same time, you start seeing a bevy of teams out there incrementally getting better with young talent.
Yep.
And then by 2022, well, it was early 2021, you saw Phoenix go to the finals. Utah clinched the number 1 seed.
Phoenix and Milwaukee. Utah was up there.
They was a powerhouse in the East, winning 60 games a year. Then here come Memphis with Ja. Here come Denver. You know what I'm saying?
Denver came to one. You got 22 to Golden State, and actually Celtics 22 is the year. 22 is the year the Celtics turned their situation around. They was floundering for a minute.
So what is happening is you got a whole, but like you said, it's about 10 teams out there. Now, to me, if a team dominates a decade and is real, I'm cool. Either way, as long as there's real competition out there, you can't hate it. But a lot of these guys, they resent the fact that there's a changing of the guard, man, because they've been trying to set the table up for a certain guy to run the table. But the plan has never fundamentally worked, and they all holding the lead back. They all need to take a step back and let this league breathe, man, and let these young stars shine.
And this is what I want to get into with our main topic about David Falk versus Rich Paul, because I don't know how much of the two interviews you watched. Now I was watching what Rich Paul said through Uncommon Sense videos, and then I actually went to Stephen A's platform to watch. I probably watched the first 15 minutes, and I saw where David Falk was going. And I did watch a lot of what David Falk said through Uncommon Sense videos. He's like, it's a masterclass, because David Falk really brought back just where the league went to when the league got to its golden age. And again, when they came with the salary cap in 1982. That's 2 years before Jordan got into the league. Jordan doesn't know Rick. I mean, David Falk probably didn't even know. He probably did know Jordan, because that's one of Rich Paul's little points that he made, is that, you had connections with Georgetown. So, he got the Patrick Ewing. He was Patrick Ewing's agent. He was Jordan's agent, right? He was Barkley wound up coming to him, I believe. He became the agent to the stars, pretty much, right? Rich Paul. It was basically like Scott Boras still is in baseball. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he was saying how, the salary cap put a cap on players' salary, right? It put a cap on how much teams could actually spend, and you would actually have to be fiscally responsible. But it also, like, it was a point where the players would get 51% of revenue. So it behooved the players to grow revenue, because the more money the leagues and these teams are making, the more money you guys would make. So that was the thing. It's like, represent the league in the right way. So the business model, basically, the modern business model started from 1982. Where every team wasn't about themselves, and again, the revenue sharing and all that stuff comes in later on. So that's pretty much the business model of every league now, right? The only league without a real cap is baseball, and they kind of they had to bring in revenue sharing throughout the late 90s. The Yankees always pushed back against the revenue sharing and luxury tax and all that, but they had no choice. It was like the owners. Really, with baseball, it got so perverse where the Yankees could spend $300 million on their team, and they're playing in the same division with Tampa Bay with a $20-something million payroll. Like, the Yankees would have multiple players that made more than Tampa Bay's whole team. That's a crazy business model, but that's the way it is.
They cracked through and won the World Series.
Yeah. And that
the Yankees last title, I think that was in 2009, last time.
They got a couple of them. They got a couple of situations where, and again, but the problem was, you built them up for young guys. Now your young guys, they go become arbitration eligible. You get them for one more year, then they become free agent, and then Tampa Bay would never be able to keep a guy past his first rookie. Past them years where he's on a. In baseball, you got to play 5 or 6 years, making about 1, 2, 3 million before you can get your big money. And then again, with baseball, you can sign an unlimited deal. You can sign 15 years, 20 years, whatever. You can do that. Like what's the guy who the Japanese guy, God, I can't think of his name for the Dodgers. The Ohtani, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Ohtani pitches, yeah. So he has a monster deal because even though he's not even pitching no more, he made a deal based on the fact that he hits and he pitches, and so that's what. But anyway, getting back to Falk, he basically schooled Rich Paul on talking about how he cherry pick. First of all, Rich Paul said LeBron cherry picks his teams. Rich Paul's clapback is, well, you cherry pick your clients. Well, number one, Rich Paul doesn't. David Falk doesn't play in the league. But here's the main difference too, Jermaine. And I know JB. Rich Paul, David Falk never funneled players to the Bulls for his number one client. Yep. What Clutch Sports do, they funnel players. They'll either funnel players to the Lakers, which we all know what they did. Right? Or they'll funnel players away from the lake. They'll keep people out of the lake. Like, again, I've seen him misrepresent so many clients. It's ridiculous.
Or keep them from going to other teams that could pose a threat.
That's what I mean. Keep them away from out of LeBron James's path.
Yep.
Or out of his interest. Again, he missed what he did with Ben Simmons. I'm telling him, number one, you had a back injury. The idea that he told him to go away from you told him to hold out, go away from the 76ers. Yeah, I see it. Indiana fans are good. Those are fans that I actually do respect. You know what I'm saying?
It was
that Indiana fan. I guess that Indiana firefighter that came to the game tonight. Yeah. Bullshit. But we had an Indiana fan that actually stabbed 2 Knicks fans in a bar, but no one covers that. No one covers that.
That's too serious.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, again, that's media shit. But Indiana fans are really good. Those are, really good basketball fans, man.
That's basketball country right there.
Indiana. Exactly. But again, Falk never got players. Jordan didn't want players. He didn't want another great. He was good with Pippen. He didn't want none of these other stars to come to his team. He didn't want that. He felt he was good enough without him. So when Rich Paul says Jordan had to leave, Jordan never had to leave. LeBron never had to leave. You could have stayed in there. Problem was you weren't a salesman. You weren't liked as much in Cleveland. No one was saying, "Hey, Bron, you can play your ass off," but I'm not coming to Cleveland. No one said, "Oh yeah, I'll come to Cleveland to play to help you win." No, the ones that did, the Antoine Jamesons and all of that. Amari chose not to. They thought they would get Amari in some 2010, maybe Amari and they thought that J.J. Hickson and the combination of J.J. Hickson and whatever else was going to get them Amari from the team, which I guess
they
in hindsight,
their team for him. They double stacked it.
Yeah,
you look at it. They brought in because Shaq. I'll never forget it, man. When the Lakers was about to clinch the championship versus Orlando in Game 5, about like 4.5 minutes ago, they interrupted the game to announce that Shaquille O'Neal was on the phone working up a trade to go to Cleveland. Because Kobe was about to time and rings. I said, "What kind of shit is this?" And then when he got traded to Cleveland, he said, "I'm going to Cleveland to win one for the Kane." So, what I'm trying to say is, he was coming off an all-star season. Shaq, it wasn't like Shaq was what he wasn't prime Shaq, but he was still all-star caliber. So you still got Big Z. Then they brought in 2 shooters from the Toronto Raptors, Jamario Moon, Anthony Parker, both shooting 40% from 3. You still had Mo Williams. You still had Delonte West. You still had Big Z. You still had Anderson Varejao. You still had Mo Williams. And then mid-season, they trade Big Z to the Wizards for Anton Jameson, career 22-point per game score. Then, right before the regular season ended, the Wizards waived Ilgauskas to re-sign with Cleveland right before the playoffs.
That's why you have a
which
rule
was
now.
against
Yeah,
league rules.
you have a lead that was there. Hurt the league. I forgot about that. Yes, 38-year-old Shaq, but so what? 38-year-old Shaq was better than Kendrick Perkins, the team they lost to.
Kendrick Perkins, and he was the best player in that series versus Boston the last 3 games. He outplayed LeBron in the game 4, especially game 5 and game 6.
I'll say this. Shaq is one extreme, but to say they were a bunch of bums, that's another extreme. Random clips. Again, they had enough to compete, and LeBron basically flamed out. He said, "All right, I'm not going hard for this squad." And that was a 61 winning team.
To win it all.
Yes, that was a 61 team that flamed out in the second round.
And they clinched the number 1 seed so fast that they set the starters off the last week and a half of the season. They
weren't bums, bro. Again, if you got 14, if you got 3 teammates within the last from 2008, 2009, 2010 who were all-stars, you got 4 teammates. They weren't bums. Sorry. Were they better than the Celtics? Yeah, they were, because they won more games than the Celtics. They had home court advantage over the Celtics. Now, the Celtics had better championship pedigree. Did the Celtics have more talent, man for man? Arguable. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem with LeBron fans. You go back, and this is what Rich Paul was talking about with revisionist history. Y'all have your own revisionist history. Now, you have your own. See, the Celtics. See, the problem is, brother. The problem is random clips. Is you're looking at it from your 2025 hindsight. But you don't remember what you were thinking back in 2010, because a lot of people, whether you're a LeBron guy or not, back in 2010, the way it was looked at, go back to what the point spreads and the line said. See, that's the problem. What we do is now, if you go back and look at those actual games, how LeBron flamed out in games 4, 5, and 6. They remember they had a 2-1. I believe didn't they have a 2-1 lead, man?
They went up 2-1.
They went up 2-1. Random clips.
And then in game 5,
random clips.
5, he missed 11 shots in a row.
Yes, in game 5. So
11.
The guy was an MVP that year, sir. And he to the Celtics, they got a 2-1. If they weren't better than the Celtics, how could they get a 2-1 lead? See, I cannot sit here and say that the Knicks were better than the Pacers when the Pacers were up 3-1. The Pacers got a 2-1, a 2-0 lead on us. Oh, here we go about Jordan. Okay, so yeah, they got a 2-1 lead on the Pistons in 89. They got a 2-1 lead. It's always got to come back to Jordan. So that was one. How many other 2-point? Because guess what? Random clip. There was a couple of other 2-1 leads, including 2011.
That check this out, Ro. This is the big difference between Cleveland being up 2-1 against a team they should the favorite to beat and to win the whole championship versus Chicago. Chicago entered that postseason facing the Cleveland Cavaliers, and for all fans out there, the team that was favored to win the title in '89. It was not the Lakers. It was not the Pistons. It was the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay.
So much so, Magic Johnson, and I know you probably remember this, Ro. Magic Johnson predicted that the Cleveland Cavaliers would become the team in the '90s. And Michael Jordan beat them in the first.
Beat them every time. I want you to understand that, random clip, because if you're going to bring up history, then no history. Again, I get it. The Cavs were not stacked. But the bottom line is, again, see, when you sit there and say that Boston better using revisionist history, again, Boston did win Boston won in 2008. Obviously, the injury in 2009 derailed them. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to say whether they were. I say they were on the same level because the Cavs were a 61 winning team. So what y'all do now is, because you don't have a bunch of Hall of Famers stacked up on the team. Now you're going to say the team wasn't stacked, team wasn't good, whatever.
You see, and that's the danger because
first of all, he won the. Hold on, man. He won the defensive player of the year in 1988. So if you're going to talk history in this talk history. Talk it right. He didn't win it in '89. He won it in '88. How was he fake? You tell me. Give me the reason why he was fake. See, again, first of all, we're talking about Jordan, but let's talk about, again, right, Jordan had to come back. You know what Jordan never did? Oh, well, I ain't have a good enough teammates. But my teammates my role players weren't good. No, Jordan said we gotta come back, we gotta get better, and we gotta beat this team next year. 1990, they get to Game 7 of the conference finals against them.
It was good.
I mean, explain to me why he was the fake defensive player of the year. I mean, his blocks numbers, his steals numbers, his impact every game.
They going off that fake research by Haberstraw. That's what they going off of.
Yeah.
Before then,
which was six tapes, 6 VSS tapes, and he's trying to now eyeball score the game. You know, the NBA actually did have official scorers. So whatever the official scorers had as their count, that's what it was.
And Ro, to show you, for a person that's supposed to be covering the NBA to spend a time watching footage about basketball games and a player whose career is ended in 2003.
So many years ago.
Think about this. They spending more time watching basketball back in 1988 than 2025, which means they don't really love the league, man. It's like they just use it as a platform. That's all they doing.
What they got, and this is the thing. What it's all about, and this is the problem. And I'm gonna tell you again. I want to get into the point where what David Falk is saying is basically a prelude to what Michael Jordan. Again, Michael Jordan ain't gonna come in and he's not going to kill LeBron. He's not going. But what Michael Jordan is going to do is he's going to tell the truth about the league now, and he's going to tell the truth about the league that he played in. And he's going to tell the truth about the league that he owned, mind you. See, here's the thing. Jordan was a player, right, from 84 to 2003. Pretty much. I mean, he got into management, basically to transition himself into ownership, right? His goal was to help the Wizards out, help market the Wizards, and then he said, okay, well, the best way to market is to come back and play for him. So he played the 2 seasons for free. Remember, he played it for free. He didn't take no max, he didn't get a max salary. See, if y'all want to judge Jordan and LeBron at 40, realize if LeBron's making $50 million, Jordan took $1. Jordan was living off he didn't play. He played it to help his own asset. He was thinking about ownership, not just putting stuff in dollars in his pocket and getting a bunch of glory. I wonder what it was about.
And they asked him to step down from his vice president position to play for the franchise. To generate revenue because people weren't coming to the home game.
And this is what, because when Falk brings up the how players have to grow the revenue. So again, if I'm going to get into ownership, and I'm going to be, obviously I can make more money as an owner than I can make playing any day. And that was what Jordan felt he was deserving. The league felt he deserved it. That's why the Charlotte Bobcats and other Charlotte Hornets were created as a 30th team. Again, for those guys that say the league was watered down, the league was growing. I want you to understand and say, when y'all say expansion, watered down the league, that is absolutely the dumbest take you can make. It's dumb. And I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why. I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why. 2 guys who wound up becoming all NBA defensive players throughout the 2000s, the Kobe era, the Shaq era, you know what I'm saying? Up until they retired in the late 2000s.
I want to respond, if I can, roll to what Random Clips is saying about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to explain some stuff. Jordan was in the bus crying, saying he wanted to leave the Bulls. That's not true.
Yeah, I want to get on that too, but there was a lot of things I want to get on.
Now, he did cry, and his father said, look, man, we're going to come back next year. You got another chance. All Jordan said was, how many more chances that we get? But remember what B.J. Armstrong said during that last dance. He said, right after that game, they start working out, getting ready for the next year. Because they knew, because for all practical purposes, they knew they probably, I'm not going to say that they should have beat the Pistons, but in all essence, they probably felt that they was the better team. But Pistons, having that home court advantage. If the Bulls hosted Game 7, more than likely they probably beat the Pistons. Okay, so let's go back to '89. Let's go back to '89.
Go ahead.
Like I said, Cleveland Cavaliers had the best front court in the NBA. They had a better front court than Detroit. Because matter of fact, there's a book. I think it was written by Mitch Albom. It's called Pure Pistons, and it covers the '89 championship season of Detroit. He said the one team that Detroit did not want to face in the playoffs. This was written. It's in the. I got the book to this day. Was the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers was building a team modeled after the Celtics. You know, the big, you know, the front court of Bird, Mikal Parrish. Well, with their version of the front court, you had Hot Rod Williams, Larry Nash Jr., Brad Daugherty. Okay, so in that first round, like Jordan said, they lost to Cleveland all 6 times during the regular season. So even the Chicago sports writers had Cleveland winning that series. Jordan went in there and beat the team that a lot of sports writers predicted was going to win the title. It wasn't Detroit. Now, Detroit was one of the so-called favorites, but Cleveland was considered the favorite, and they was the hottest team entering the playoffs that year in the Eastern Conference. Okay, Jordan knocks them off in the first round. In the second round, they played the New York Knicks, who won the Atlantic Division that year. Rick Pitino was the head coach. And I know bro. They was favored to win that series. The Bulls beat them in 6 games. So he led the Bulls to beat arguably the top 2 teams in the conference. Well, one of the top 2 teams in the conference. Cleveland.
Yeah, Knicks was knocking on the door. Patino was supposed to come. Yeah.
Okay, so you play the Detroit Pistons, who was having their best season in franchise history. They won 63-19. They had the deepest team in the league. Jordan. Now remember, you know, and this is not a knock on Pippen, but his second year, he went from averaging about 7-8 points a game to about 14 points a game, which was a nice progression for him. But he was nowhere near the Scottie Pippen that he would become by the time he played on the Dream Team. You know, okay.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
He goes in Detroit.
His first All-Star year was 1990.
1990, which was his third year, right? Third year. Okay.
Yeah.
So
he didn't make it in 91, but you know, one can say he was an all-star level player, right? It's funny how you say all-star level player, and you look at a Jamal Murray who's never technically made an all-star, right? But okay, yeah. So basically, yeah. In 1989, you had a battle. So remember, the Pistons were a team that everybody thought should have won in '88. They should have stopped the Lakers from going back to back, right?
And really, I'm a Laker fan, but in all honesty, Detroit had the more talented team, but the Lakers got that one road victory in Detroit to bring the series back home to LA to win Game 6 and 7. Otherwise, Detroit wins that championship. So Jordan goes up against the Bulls in '89. That means goes up against the Pistons in '89. He leads them to a 2-1 series lead strictly off of his dominance. Now, this is for what's his name, Randall Clips. You can pull it up on YouTube. Pull up the Bad Boys documentary, the 30 for 30 that they had on ESPN about the Pistons. They were so nervous about losing to this one man that Isaiah Thomas said after game 3, when Jordan hit that shot on Isaiah and Dennis Rodman, they put the series up 2-1. He said he sat by the steps of Lake Michigan. Then he and Dumas got on the phone all night long to come up with a plan to neutralize this man. Thus, the Jordan rules. Meaning, if they had not came up with an adjustment, they would have lost to him before they championship run started, just like Cleveland. That's how good this dude was. So they had to throw the whole kitchen sink. All 10
at Michael Jordan
were geared on stopping one man. Therefore,
and this is the thing. You were able to do that because really, and again, for a guy to battle that one man, we knew like if you make it to where everybody else got to beat you, the Bulls are dead in the water.
Like he said, Jordan was cheeks. But this the thing, though. This the thing. When Jordan lost in the playoffs, he lost the championship level squads that had.
Thank you.
Their teams was more advanced. Remember, he came in the league in '84. Boston was in their prime. They was in the heart of their prime. Here comes Detroit slowly but surely. You still had the Philadelphia 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks. So what I'm trying to say is, man, this dude had to, year by year, incrementally lead the franchise just to be respectable until they brought in Pippen and Grant, and it took them 4 years to mature. Pippen and Grant didn't come in right away, dropping 20, 15 points a game as the number 2, number 3 guys. So what I'm
Wait,
trying to say is,
wait, come on, random clips. Like he faced real competition.
he played
We just,
championship level
you know what kills the older
competition.
man? So we got to go a little quicker pace. We just illustrated how he was so dominant. He got that 2-1 lead based off his dominance. Because there was no way that the Pistons were really. I mean, the Bulls had.
He was finna beat them. The whole the coaching staff got on the phone. Isaiah Thomas called the coaching staff up to come up with a plan and say, okay, this is how we're gonna deal with
One
this
guy.
dude.
It's so
One
funny.
guy.
It's so funny
Meaning,
because y'all like LeBron guys will make all these memes about, oh, it takes all this to stop one guy. Well, goddamn it, it takes a team with all those defensive players. You know,
and see, this is another thing. He said Jordan was cheeks, but during the Pistons championship run, the hardest competitor was the Chicago Bulls because of Michael Jordan.
of
When
course.
they got to
And
the
then look at
finals,
the numbers. Hold on, because Johnny pulled this bullshit on Go James. I don't have a feeling this is one of them Go James Kingdom guys. This the random clips.
where the argument is not going to stand. The argument is
Hold
not
on,
going to stand.
his field goal percentage went down by 0.4 or 5, like 40, like about 4 points percent. His assists went down by 1. His rebounds was the same, right? Or his assists were the same, and the rebounds went down one or the other. Okay, who's Go James Kingdom? Okay, all right, random clips, FYF or whatever. Either way, to say he was ass when he was put like his league leading numbers went down by a smidgen. How was he ass? I need to understand that. Give me the game where he was just damn, they just blew it. Again, first of all, you're going against one of the greatest teams that ever. LeBron had been to a finals, right?
Arguably
LeBron
the
had went
greatest
to the conference finals.
Arguably the greatest defensive championship team of all time was the Pistons. Arguably, probably is.
Okay, so 8 shots in 46 minutes. Again, you won't say that he had damn near a triple double in there. You won't talk about the assists. Again, getting the ball out of his hands. So again, they'll just cherry again. When we talk about cherry picking facts and revising history, that's what they do. Because again, I get it. See, one thing that will, like I said, the reason why I wanted to do this subject because everybody is speculating what Jordan will talk about on NBC next year, and this is probably it. So number one, Jordan is not the type that need the. We all know that the resume goes immaculate. We all know what he did once he became a champion.
Right, he not finna tear nobody down, man.
He ain't gonna tear nobody down. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna be honest about his own assessment. Because guess what? His standards was so high for himself. Here's the problem with LeBron. Here's the problem with LeBron guys and Rich Paul and all that. They will take what LeBron accomplishes and then try to move the goalposts into believing, well, he gave all he got. No, thing about this game is you can always give more. You can always do better. I bet you I look at Jalen Brunson's stat sheet and it'll tell me, I know that Jalen Brunson could have played a lot better than either he smoked 2 or 3 layups. He made a couple of live ball turnovers. Again, Jalen Brunson is already, by my account, has eclipsed his after 7 turnovers in game 1. I said, you better not give me 7 turnovers for the rest of the series. I don't care how he's already eclipsed that, right? Josh Hart did doing with his 5 turnovers and then fouling out the game. You know, so you can always do more. And so what Jordan will say, well, LeBron is better, so is Kareem. Again, you're a LeBron guy then, because there's no. Again, we can and you look, bro. I can drop the link. You can pull up, man. Matter of fact, I'm finna do that right now.
Check this out, Ro. Now there is an interview that Kareem did with maybe it was Dan Patrick or something, and he asked Kareem, "Is Jordan better than you?" Kareem said, yeah, I say in the grand scheme of things, he is better. He said, but I don't think he's as effective. Meaning, Kareem had the ultimate go-to weapon. See,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you. See, the players back then, when they was asked a question in that regard, they gonna pretty much give you the honest answer. So what I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
say, because they had to go out there and compete, they couldn't manipulate the landscape.
Yeah.
So when Kareem is asked this question, like Will Chamberlain said, well, I think every player in the NBA deserve to give 10% of their
Yeah,
earnings
look,
to Jordan.
the chat believe you were LaGlazer. So I dropped the link, man. You have the invitation, and again, I'm not. Okay, you don't gotta be. Number one, you can make the case how LeBron is better because again, I think, and this is what happens, right? Because again, Jordan will be honest. Jordan's raised the standard that Jordan, even at that point, had for himself was higher than what LeBron has for himself. And that's the thing. I think LeBron will look back on those years and say, well, what else could I do? My team was ass. Jordan never said that. And if you go back and look, having a young BJ Armstrong, a Horace Grant who was good but improving. You know what's so funny? From 88 to 93, when y'all talk about Pippen, again, a fun fact. What's the name had Horace Grant had more win shares from 88 to 93 than Scottie Pippen did. If for those that think win shares is an important stat, I'm just saying. You understand what I'm saying? So look, what Jordan never did was say, my teammates ain't good enough. And I want to make you understand this. In 2010, LeBron had three teammates, including himself, that makes four players on his team who was an all-star within the last 2 years. And you can sit there and talk about Shaq, but remember who they went against was Kendrick Perkins was the starting center. Kendrick Perkins was the starting center of that team. So explain to me how Shaq was a bum. Again, I know he was slow. I know he wasn't in the prime shape of his career, and he was 38 years old. I understand that. He still was able to give you, especially in that conference, especially considering you ain't going up against no Prime Akeem or no David Robinson. You're not going up against none of these guys. You are going up against Kevin Garnett. But even the Celtics themselves were getting older. LeBron had bad performances. And so in LeBron's eyes, well, I gotta go. And that's what Rich Paul said. He had to leave. Now again, I don't criticize LeBron for leaving. I don't. No one said it was a prime Shaq. But 37-year-old Shaq was an all-star in the West. And you want to tell me that was a ceremonial pick? Well, he actually averaged about 18. Only averaged about 8. I would have to look it up. He averaged about 18 and 9 or something like that. He had decent numbers. And again,
Only fans of this guy.
go ahead, man.
No, I'm finna say what it comes down to, man, is that this guy's fans are the only following that degrade the past. I don't see Steph Curry doing that. Now his fans may feel that he's the best point guard ever, but I don't think they do it in a way that diminishes or try to trash the past. Now I consider and say combo guard. I would say yes. I think Steph Curry is the best combo guard. But
Yeah, because at this point, when I say there aren't many point guards in the league, basically they're guards that play. They're guards at the position, and really that would go back to the '60s because really you had it was the same thing. Like people were wondering, it was Western shoe guard. No, they didn't look at it that way back in the '60s. They just look at it as two guards, right? So one might have led the offense a little bit more, but you had two guards, and both of them was responsibility was to run offense. So really from 70 into, but still the point guard position did get defined as the modern NBA went on. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, what Steph is, again is to compare him to Magic, and to be fair, you just got to look at impact. Well, I'm sorry, there's no way his resume. Where's the 3 MVPs? I understand he was the first unanimous MVP, and I understand he went back to back. But where's the 3 MVPs? 3 Finals MVPs, one as a rookie. Steph was hoping to stay healthy. He hadn't Magic revolutionized the league too with the way playmakers decided to make plays. Magic was immaculate again. 9 finals in 12 years. Steph was great. He's not on Magic's level. Sorry. And that's me being objective, looking at the way he changed the league, the whole 9. You know what I'm saying? Again, they cherry pick where he took 8 shots in 46 minutes. They won't tell you how they made Jordan into a playmaker where they did everything they could to keep the ball out of his hands. Everything they could. And that was the situation. And then the legendary team that did so.
With a fan like that is unaware is that one of the primary reasons that the Pistons were known for focusing on offense. They was one of the top offensive teams in the NBA at one time. Because of Jordan, they changed the emphasis from offense to defense. Meaning, if they would have continued trying to outscore you in the Bulls, because what they don't realize is, for the most part, if you go back and look at the regular season outcomes year in year out, before they really start facing each other in the playoffs, their record against each other was damn near 50-50 during the regular season. So that's what I'm saying. For all these fans, man, who think that Jordan wasn't about nothing, he was this and that, all you gotta do, pull up the information, go to basketballreference.com. Don't rely on these talking heads right now. Go to basketballreference.com. It's going to show you exactly who's who, and you'll be able to formulate your whole outlook on the thing in a more realistic fashion. The bottom line is this, man. The bottom line is this: Jordan is basically mainly by and it's all generated by LBJ. His fans want to downgrade Jordan, but I bet you, in a real life situation, if you say everything is on the line, the money on the line, the chip on the line, history on the line, everything is on the line. Who you picking to bring the championship home? Are you gonna pick Jordan or are you gonna pick LeBron?
So let's get into the most overrated, most overhyped and overrated player. And this is what I'll get into what David Falk said, because this is what you don't seem to understand. And I could see random clip of the guy who, again, you see how you going back down memory lane. Again, I'm just coming into the league at this point, and I have no understanding of who Jordan is. I get an understanding later. About who Jordan is, right? And you know it, you saw it, you watched the league, you saw how the league was doing. You playing high school basketball at this time, right? You understand what I'm saying? Jordan, as folks said, off the court, you can pick LeBron. I mean, you can come up here and tell us why, because we would love to have this debate, man, for real. You can tell us why, because you're just picking LeBron because you know why? You're going to cherry pick Jordan failures, quote unquote failures. You're going to put everything on him, and then you're going to say, well, I'm picking LeBron because of this, that, and the third. And see, again, we're talking about, I'm going to get to the part where Falk made this point, where black athletes, it was even with Bird, even with Magic and Bird, athletes in general, and black athletes especially, to have their own shoe line, right? Jordan is the reason why Nike is the biggest athletic gear dealer in the world. He grew that company off of his back. He was, and that's the thing. To say he was overrated and overhyped, no, the performances, people who saw these performances, people who were there to tell these stories, the people he destroyed. Every player failed and had bad moments, but you're picking one out to say I would love for you to come up and explain to us how you overhyped and overrated, and we're gonna let you speak, man. We're gonna let you speak. I'm not gonna be one of these guys that just hit the mute button. Nah, we're gonna have conversations over here, man. So how was he overhyped and overrated? Again, as Falk said, this man sold merchandise. That's a big deal because you don't understand. 3 years before he came, the league was almost going to fold. It was going to fold. So you're old enough to have seen Jordan. You explain to me how the man went like the league was on tape delay. Jordan built networks. He didn't build NBC. He didn't obviously Cosby and Cheers and all that and Seinfeld being a hit, but he damn sure built NBC Sports. NBC had the Olympics. But that's once every 4 years. No, who cares about the Winter Olympics? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you pick LeBron. Why? Because of longevity and stuff. Again, I'll say this, you have the right to do that. I just want you to explain. I just want to explain. You basically said you got one bad game, one series that he lost when he wasn't the favorite. You understand what I'm saying? One series, random clips. I mean, I expect you got a channel over there. Is this what you do on your channel? Do you explain context? Because again, this started with, and again, I want to really kind of get into what, again, the point that David Falk made, and I get it, that might not be a pure basketball point, but the fact of the matter is Jordan was that marketable to where the league, everything around the league went better. The league grew, the revenue grew exponentially. Scottie Pippen signed his money up $1 million when he signed his $2-point-something million deal for 7 years. That was considered a big thing. A lot of y'all don't know that. I had to say on FYF, hey, in 1993, because a lot of these guys who were old enough to see Jordan but were not old enough to understand the finances and everything like that of basketball. Kirby Puckett in 1993 was the only player in all of sports making $3 million. By 1996, you had NBA players making $10, $15, $16 million. By the end of the decade, they had to now implement the max salary where the most a player could make would be $16 million. But think about that, at the beginning of the decade, it was unheard of to get to $3 million. It was by the end of the 80s, it was unheard of. I mean, only a couple of players would get to $1 million. I don't think y'all understand that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all inflation. It wasn't all just, again, because the league was growing, because the league was making money. So the league that you have now, where guys are making $100 million, because now Jordan set the goddamn powder keg off to where the marketability of the league got the money just keep expanding. You feel me? But they don't understand that. And again, now we're gonna get down to the performance. You go back to 1989 again, but you don't. I mean, goddamn, you had 2008, you had the 2007 finals. You had so many of those bad moments. Which again, LeBron still by the media wise wasn't even really called out for. It was 2010 where they say, "Well, what's going on? Why is he playing? Why is he not bringing it? Why is he not? LeBron's performances at the end of that series was so bad. They were bad, like they were effort bad. They were like Ant-Man's last night. It's so funny. It's so funny. A lot of people will say Jordan took too many shots. And then you cherry pick a game where he took 8 shots and you'll say that, oh, look, Jordan choked. Jordan got his ass bust. You can't make it up, Jermaine. You can't make it up, bro. You know what I mean? You still there, bro?
No, I'm here, man.
Man. You got the floor. You got. I had the red on, but my God.
See, what's unfortunate about this whole landscape right now is that the fans who grew up watching the NBA during that time, it don't make us better, but we happened to had the opportunity to watch it during that time. And what's being said about it now, 30 years later, by revisionists or people with agendas,
revisionist history, yes,
they're all wrong, but they're misleading millions. And it's sad, in the end, this is what's going to happen. And I think it's going to start when Jordan returns back. Like I said, Jordan ain't got to exaggerate nothing. And what a lot of young cats may not realize is that Jordan was critical about the players back then who was coming to the league being given massive contracts. He's like, what they being paid on potential. Like me and Marcus of the world, we had to go out there and earn
clip. Yeah.
So it was a thing where how can I say his whole mindset was he set such a standard, like you can't take no shortcuts to get to this level. That was his whole thing, man. And he elevated the sport. He elevated he took the NBA to heights never seen. You know what I'm saying? And it was largely
Mm-hmm.
off of his struggle, starting from the bottom and reaching to the top. But once he broke through, everybody kind of knew wasn't nobody gonna beat him. And he never lost a playoff series that his team was favored to win in. Now the other guy, there's been 5 instances where his team
Mm-hmm.
has been favored to win it
Hey,
all, and they
Mr.
didn't
Randall Cliff, I
even
want you
make the
to hear that part.
finals. They didn't even make the final. These past 2 years, okay, going into the 23, and you know I know, Ro, because that's
Yeah,
my
man.
squad. Going into the 23-24 season, they made all these off-season moves. They signed all these young cats. They re-signed some of them young cats who they traded for the previous season. They said the Lakers had the deepest team in the league. They finally had the unit to unseat Denver. They're going to win it all. And then you fast forward a season and a half later, they ain't got no depth. They ain't got this, they ain't got that. They was picked to
Mm-hmm.
win it all. And then when they got Luka, they try to convince fans that, oh, you don't need AD in the defense no more. Their defense is gonna be more sound
Of
now.
course,
And they
yeah.
get the doors blown off in the playoffs. So what I'm trying to say is it's so many smoke and mirrors surrounding this guy. In the past 2 years, they got eliminated in the first round. And when you look at the playoffs right now, when you look at the 4 teams remaining, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Timberwolves, and the Oklahoma City Thunder, as well as other teams out there that improved, became playoff level teams, it ain't gonna stop. So his fans and he gonna have to start
And
being honest.
I'm
The,
gonna show
the,
you
the,
because the
the
guy
gig
is
is up.
telling me, hold on, man. The guy's saying he's not a fan, right? I'm cherry picking LeBron games. No, sir. I'm cherry picking LeBron series because by 2010, it became a theme that he was not like. And again, it wasn't like you saying all his teammates were bums. I can't understand it. Guys were like Jameson wasn't a bum. I'm sorry, Jameson wasn't a bum. What you're basically saying is he never got a guy who Scottie Pippen became. Because that's what it always breaks it down to. Because if you want to say it, Jordan's teammates were bums by that same standard. Because I'm sorry, Scottie Pippen was a one-time All-Star by 1990. Antoine Jameson was like a 2-3 time All. Jerome Zagauskas made 2 All-Stars, one with LeBron in his second year. Shaq, Mo Will. Oh, Mo Will only was on because they won a 60-win team. So if I'm gonna sit, you saying I'm picking one random LeBron games? No, I'm picking the same series. So you can't throw my logic back on me. LeBron again had great numbers and did not close out the Magic in '09. LeBron had terrible numbers, and that same team of bums still kept them in the series competitive with the Celtics. Remember, they were competitive with the Celtics in 2008. No Mo Williams yet. They got Mo Williams as an improvement, right? They got a second playmaker and all of that. They had good rebounders, J.J. Hicksons, the Anthony Parker. That was a team built on defense, and then LeBron will be the playmaker enough to get these other guys. But again, they didn't have any great offensive talent. I mean, again, they had good offensive players around LeBron and a great defense. So now what they needed was LeBron to come in and play. You talk about a 15-point, 18-point drop off. Yet what you're explaining is how he scored 45 against Cleveland. Then he scored 27 against the Pistons, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How can somebody be overhyped when a fall off is to 27? Like he set the standard so high that only scoring 27 in the next round is considered a failure and a fall off. Make it make sense. Yes, we know that Jordan played slightly worse against the so he dropped for 5 points a game. He dropped off 4% on his shooting percentage, and then he dropped off like 1 assist playing against the Pistons compared to what he did to every other team in the East. Again, Pistons were a deep team and knew how to control pace, do enough actual defense. They changed their identity to a roughhouse defensive unit. Dennis Rodman, again, because they'll sit there and say how, first of all, Dennis Rodman in 1988, the first season they played the Bulls, was the top 10 defensive player of the year candidate, despite coming off the bench, right? By '89, he was a full-blown starter, right? That and they pretty much they didn't bench. When I say They brought Aguayo off the bench and they let Rodman start that season, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Jermaine. Hey man, you here?
No, I'm here.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Rodman starting in '89, right?
Yep, that was during the second season because Mark Aguirre
so they wanted. Remember, they got to the finals in '88. Yep. They lost to the Celtics. I mean, they lost to the back. I mean, to Magic and the what's the name? And then they came back and swept them in '89. And in '90 they beat the Bulls in 7 games, right? And then they beat the Blazers in the finals. So they went back to
5 games.
Two teams went back to back, and then the Bulls went the next 3.
So let me ask this, bro. Let me ask this to the young cat. If Jordan was garbage losing to the Pistons in 7 games, what was Portland? What was Drexler? Was Drexler garbage? And they lost to him in 5 games. You see what I'm saying? So the hardest competition that the Pistons had during their championship run was against the Bulls.
Was Jordan. Without a doubt. And again, when your standards are that high, where you have to win despite not having it, again, people will go by what the Pistons became. Now, you asked me a question a long time ago. Was the Cavs better than the Celtics? I wouldn't say that, but they damn sure were on the Celtics level because you don't win 61 games. It's like the Cavs and the Pacers. You gonna tell me that the Cavs were not on the Pacers level? They just didn't play. Look, this is how it goes in the playoffs, man. These playoff series are about at most 2 weeks and a half. So you got to come in here and play for 2 weeks and a half. You have to be better than the team that you're sitting head to head against, and that's it. And the Pistons showed they went back to back. They went back to back. They went to 3 straight finals. Without beating the Bulls, even with the injuries, they would have went to 4 straight finals. Y'all glaze that now. Because remember, okay, when you talk about LeBron going to 8 straight finals, well, he did 4 with one team and 4 with another team. Now we come to expect shit like that. That didn't even happen. Magic's best team didn't go to 4 straight finals, I believe. Right?
Yep.
Magic went to the finals in 80. They didn't get back in 81. They went there in 82. They went there in 80. Did they go? No, they didn't go there in 82.
No, they went in. They won in 80. They got upset in the first round of 81, and then from 82 to 85, they went to the finals.
Oh, so they went 4 straight years. They doors blown up to 83. 82 they won. Then 84 the Celtics came back and won, right? 85 they won. But
they didn't. In 86 we got upset by Houston. And then 87
got upset by Houston. So at one point he got the 4 straight finals and won 2. Right? Yeah, at one point they got him and Kareem, they got from 82, 83, 84, 85. They got to the finals every year. Then they lost in 85, then they get 86, 87, 88. It was 86, 80, no, so 87, 88, 89, got knocked off in 90, came back in 91. That was his career. But back then, get the 4 straight finals. And again, the Pistons were Mike. So it's like, first of all, when did we put some respect on how good the fucking Pistons were? I mean, good Jesus Christ, the bad boys. When did we put the way that team developed, the amount of talent that was there? And you got Jordan, young Horace Grant, and Scottie Pippen, and they're supposed to fucking win. Come on, man. And if they don't, this is what I'm talking about, though. At this point, you got Antoine Jameson, who was a veteran in the league. You had Shaq. Why Diminish was still a veteran in the league? Because if I got Shaq and the other team got Kendrick Perkins, I kind of like that matchup. I'm just saying. Now, I get it. Shaq was diminished. You also got, you got J.J. Hickson and all these guys. You got enough to fucking compete. I mean, look at this series right now. Who's helping the Pacers beat the Knicks? It's crazy, bro. He was deep in the play, but he dropped off 18 when it really mattered. He dropped off 18 from how many people score 45 points a game in any playoff series? This is the crazy shit. And again, if LeBron does it, it's all type of glaze. If LeBron scores 40 in a playoff series, it's all types of glaze. Mind you, who Jordan scored? JB, who did Jordan score 45 points a game against?
He did it against the top defensive teams too
in the league, Cleveland Cavaliers. But they don't get it. And so because again, the Pistons employed a strategy that took the ball out of Jordan's hands because he was that special of a talent. Now all of a sudden, we're just going to cherry pick the fact that his point per game average dropped off against a different opponent. It is the most awesome. I'm telling you, bro. But he's overhyped and overrated. And again, we're now off the central point. If Falk was saying the guy was so good that he was growing, so he couldn't have been overhyped and overrated if all of a sudden he set a different standard for athletes. Period. African American athletes overall. Nobody was salesmen like they were.
Remember Chuck Daly said once. He said Michael Jordan's so good, he's really an embarrassment to the league.
Yeah, and you're talking about a league full of a lot of good players. Now, again, there was some not so great athletes. Again, they're going to cherry pick that too. They're going to cherry pick that too. Some of the athletes was, he was a bunch of plumbers and firemen, bunch of bullshit. I mean, first of all, they will all be the most amazing player you see in your gym today. If you could just time warp them in right now, the world be free of the world and everybody else was. I mean, come on. But it's crazy, bro. What they do to cherry pick, and Jordan was just the man. But this is how they'll get you, man. This is what the new media. And again, they got to. So I get it. You got to throw water because the thing is so immaculate. His resume, his career, his aura was so immaculate that you got to pick out these failures. And mind you, at no point did I say LeBron was the reason his team lost. I said his performances were bad, like the effort wasn't there. You can't say that about Jordan's effort. At no point. And that's what I'm saying. This is why they will turn the finals appearances and shit like that into something that we have to glaze and go cross over. No one said, "Oh, Magic got to the finals 4 straight years. That's a hell of an accomplishment." No one said, again, you come off the 70s where you didn't have back-to-back championships for a whole decade.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have it for 20 years, and then finally the Lakers were the team that did it. But no one sat there and reduced the standard. So now what Magic was doing, it was all about the winning. And again, getting to the finals was a great performance as well. Of course, Laker fans being Laker fans, they had to beat the Celtics, especially after getting killed by them during the Jerry West era. So it gets crazy, man. It gets crazy, and this is what we do. We revise history as Paul was trying to say. But in reality, in reality, that's what the LeBron fans do. That's what people who think LeBron is the GOAT are better than Jordan do. You would have to find a way to say he was overhyped and overrated. I mean, random clues. I don't know if you really saw Jordan, but I mean, come on, man. 18-point game drop off. You can't make it up, man. Well, the way I'm going to look at it is when Jordan get up on that podium or whatever he does, whether he mails in videos or whatever he does, come on by satellite, whatever his role is, he's going to tell the truth. He's going to tell the truth because, again, the fact that he's there got these boys worried. What is he going to say? Is he going to put his? Is he going? I mean,
they definitely worried. They definitely worried.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know they're gonna be hearing the voice of someone who didn't take no shortcuts. When I mean didn't take no shortcuts to achieve that, what he did. And as far as let's go back to the 90s and expansion. Let's go back to the expansion, and then I want to get your take on it, Ro.
Mm-hmm.
Now they say expansion. the talent was watered down. That's not what happened. If anybody go back and study it, the superstars was not made available in the expansion draft. It
Never.
was like the lower players of a team's rotation, or like let's say like a Reggie Theus. Reggie
Look,
Theus
my
was
Nick.
a
Okay, let's
vet.
go to 95 expansion.
Mhm,
My Knicks
mhm.
lost. My Knicks lost Greg Anthony. That's the level we'll play. Like your ninth man will be available.
Right.
Sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth man. That's who will be available. And I think he was one of the first players taken in the expansion draft. So here's what happens, right? One player is taken off a team. There's 24 more jobs. And again, I'm gonna say this because Bruce Bowen, the guy who guarded LeBron in his first NBA Finals, right? He wasn't in the league from '96. It's the expansion that actually got him an opportunity to get in the league.
Mhm.
With our expansion, he gonna be in the league again. Ben Wallace, Hall of Famer, was in a rookie in '96, '97. He barely got off the bench of a Washington team that was the 8th seed. So that expansion argument is just the dumbest freaking argument, and they try to use it because again, you want to talk about cherry picking and nitpicking.
Now
No,
check this out, Ro. Check this out.
go
Like
ahead.
you said, the like teams like lesser players were made available in the expansion draft. But to show
Mm-hmm.
you, even in that case, that you can't really hold on to that is that they needed players to establish their franchises, but they improved their rosters by drafting players from college, just like everybody else did.
Mm-hmm.
So by the '90s, here come Orlando. They drafted Nick Anderson. Then here come Shaquille O'Neal, Dennis Scott. You know, what was his nickname? Dennis Scott. What was his nickname?
3D.
3D. Okay. He was one of the original quote unquote 3D wings, right? And then you had, of course, they brought in Penny Hardaway. And then they signed, they had Anthony Bowie. Then they signed Horace Grant as a free agent. Charlotte Hornets. They drafted Alonzo Mourning. They drafted Kendall Gill. They drafted Muggsy Bogues. Here go Seth Curry, David Wingate. And then they start kind of, adding veterans around the team. Then here comes the Miami Heat, with Glenn Rice, Rodney Cycli, Steve Smith, Bimbo Coles. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they become a playoff team. And so the expansion teams, they were drafting the majority of the top collegiate players in the nation to their teams. So by the time by the time the Bulls were in the heart of their championship run, many of those teams had overtook the Celtics, Lakers, and Pistons. They
Mm-hmm.
were just
So,
as good. It was just they just wasn't the actual Pistons, Lakers, and Celtics, but they were just as good and better. So this notion that expansion watered down the league, no, it did not. That's a misnomer, only to try to tear out Michael Jordan.
yeah,
So all you
and
LeBron
again,
fans, man, y'all not
the
gonna
guy
win your
plays in the
argument.
30.
Y'all not gonna
The
win your
guy plays in
argument.
a 30-team league now, but it's not watered down. Explain that to me, man.
Oh, also, what they may not know, I remember during the '09-010 season, LeBron James made a comment. He said, uh, uh, to keep the talent from continuing to flesh out, because the Eastern Conference was lackluster during those years. He said the league need to contract and eliminate franchises. He said that. That's right before he went down into Miami. So you didn't hear that talk in the '80s and '90s because the league was growing. The league, in some
Mm-hmm.
respects, in a lot of ways, it was regressing, and you can see it in the play throughout the Eastern Conference. Because you only had maybe one or two teams, along with Cleveland, who were considered contenders. Where in the Western Conference, you had 8 teams, dog. You know what I'm saying? Where it wasn't even close. So this notion that expansion hurt the league, no, it was a sign of growth because of the success that we saw from the '80s. Now I don't think we need to expand no more because we got enough teams. But the reason why they did it back then is because it was so the game it just continued to grow by leaps and bounds,
Let me tell you something,
especially in
man.
terms of popularity. That was the key too.
Yeah.
So it's all a misnomer.
Listen, see, again, for you guys, man, look, the original NBA had 14, no, they had 12 teams, I believe. Might have been 13. I know 2 years in the league, there was 14 teams. Providence Steamrollers. Chicago Stags, the fucking, Tri-City Blackhawks. There was like two versions of there was the Tri-City Blackhawks, and I don't even know what three cities. They probably played like somewhere out in the Midwest. So they tried to put these basketball hotbeds. They tried to establish that NBA basketball, and they tried to make the NBA professional basketball a viable business. By then, Major League Baseball had existed for like 60 years. The NFL had existed for 24 years. By the time the NBA, the Basketball Association of America, I know I might be boring some of the audience with this, but I say that to say this. Of the original 14 franchises, only 3 still exist today. That would be the Philadelphia Warriors, who are now the Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, and the New York Knicks. Only 3 of those 14 franchises still exist to this day. So what you had was teams who could not substantiate operating. You had one year where a team folded in the middle of the season. They went defunct in the middle of the season. And I don't even know how they played out the rest of the schedule. I would have to research that again. I know these facts since I was like 12, 13 years old. Because I looked in the order and I looked through the history. I say that to say this. Expansion means that the business is doing good. This is what David Falk is trying to tell some of you morons out there, man. There's no disrespect to anybody in the chat. I'm talking about the general, because people who use the expansion argument, I know random clips, even you didn't use the expansion argument. But expansion means that the league is doing well to put in a new market. The Anderson Packers. I don't know what the fuck Anderson. What was Anderson, Milwaukee? Anderson, Wisconsin, I guess. Fort Wayne Pistons. It was the Fort Wayne Pistons, and I don't think that's not the Pistons that went into Detroit. Like there was the Toronto and New York was the first NBA game. Toronto Stags.
That was like in 1946, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1947, the Basketball Association of America. The league has always been on teetering ground up until Magic and Larry, through Kareem's era. The league could not get their games. Like, you would watch games that already happened on CBS. You would watch games where if you had the internet, you would already know. You'd be watching the game just to see it with tape delayed games. In the 80s, Magic Rookie year. The NBA that you know did not exist. And then the overrated and overhyped guy that you're talking about brought so many eyeballs to the league. He became an icon. He became one of the most famous people on the planet. And that's the problem. LeBron and all other great players that you think are better than him. And again, you have a right to say, okay, fuck all that off the court shit. He was just a media guy that was balding, dark skin, like that was, Michael Jackson even had the, these guys were not these guys you couldn't sell shit with. You couldn't sell shit with the white, even Larry Bird could only sell shoes and a couple of other things. He about as America guy. Jordan sold because the performances matched the aura, the personality, and everything else. So now you went from a league where 7-footers got a fly commercial to when in the 90s, every team had their own private jet, charter flights when he left the league. I don't think y'all seem to understand that, man. Like a lot of these teams, there's a lot of teams in NBA history that are no longer, like, probably, and especially in the 50s and 60s before Russell and everybody. I mean, the 40s and 50s before Russell. Most of those teams did not survive. Even the Philadelphia Warriors had to go to San Francisco, and now they go to state, and they're back in San. They went to Oakland, and they're back in San Francisco. 3 teams from the original 14 survived. And there were a lot of other teams that tried. Only three. That's why when you talk about the Knicks being a problem, we would have wanted our own the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Warriors. So Philly, and again, Philly was doing bad business, so they had to move in the middle of the '60s in the beginning of Wolf's career. So again, when you talk about expansion, that means that the league is now doing for because an owner has to come in and pay $200 million franchise fee, which basically goes into that pool that attracts more players. That's the thing we got to understand. When the league attracts, that means more of the best players can now play in the league. Now we got 15 players because, mind you, these players can't play any games like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So now you bring more players. And again, you'll see some of these guys who are pretty damn good. They get an opportunity to play. These D-leaguers will get an opportunity to play. But, I mean, again, so even if you want to talk about watered down league, well, Jordan played against less players than LeBron plays against every year. Is that not true? I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. The arguments that they toggle through is ridiculous, man. I don't like I said, y'all guys talk. Y'all don't even understand. We might not have had an NBA. Oh, it damn sure wouldn't be what it is now. You guys like Kareem carried the NBA through. Guys like Magic made it profitable, and guys like Jordan took it to the stratosphere. And now what we've asked is the Kobe's, the Shaqs, the Kevin Durant's, Kevin Garnett's, Duncan, and all of these guys, Allen Iverson, to keep it going and keep expanding. And then LeBron's come, and see, this is the problem now. LeBron has come, and he's so threatened by what Jordan was, and he was so determined to become what Jordan was, and he never did, but he wants to fool you into believing he is. Because again, you're one of the guys. You're one of the guys, and you had a great run. There's no doubt about it. LeBron has had a great run. Marketing the league, he's so. Look, the fact that his shoes ain't even nowhere near considered the icon that Jordans are. Tells you that Jordan ain't scored a bucket in 23 years. We wear Jordans, and shout out to Mace who said this because you know why? There was no excuses for not winning it all. You got excuses when you don't win it all. And like even the finals losses, to say I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna make this team better. No, I'm gonna leave and go over here. And I'm gonna put this guy under the bus, and that guy under the bus, and that guy, this coach under the bus. It's always somebody else's freaking fault. That's why, Mr. Paul, that's why you're revising history and accusing us of revising history. We saw the damn history. Trust me, let me tell you something, Jermaine. I did not give Jordan the GOAT status until he got the one extra ring over Magic Johnson. So 5-4, 5-0 wasn't better than 5-4 in my opinion. I'm not one of them guys to say 6-0 versus 4-6. Now, when I expand what 4-6 meant, what happened in the 4-6, let's keep it real. Random clips. Because I'm not just looking at that. I saw it in 2013, that man throw away a championship. I saw him being locked up by Boris Diaw. You think Boris Diaw would have ever put claws on Michael fucking Jordan? Are you kidding me? Who was it? And mind you, locking him down to 28 points a game or 47% shooting. And that's your smoking gun that Jordan choked. You can't make it up, man. I know. I have to throw it. I'm gonna clip this up, man. What I just said, I'm gonna clip this up. CW, I'm gonna clip this up because it's ridiculous, and we gotta start getting shorts on the channel, man. You know what I mean? That's one of the things. You can the 6 finals MVP. See again, it's the actual. It's the act. Like I saw these finals, and trust me, I was rooting against that man. I'm not a Jordan fan. I keep telling people I'm not a Jordan. I'm a Magic guy. I wanted Magic. He was my GOAT. And then I had to actually go back and look at it as I got older. Look at Russell's career and look at Kareem's career and that's why those are my top 5. I don't have LeBron in my top 5. I don't have Bird is right outside that top 5. And if he didn't go fuck his back up, doing his own mother's driveway, he probably have an argument to be right there in that top 5. But he's number 6 because again, even with the bad back, he was a better player than Scottie Pippen ever fucking was. Even with the bad back, the Celtics were a team that he just couldn't get to the playoffs and get them through with a bad back. But he was goddamn amazing with the bad back. Still putting up 20, 10, and 6. With a back that, just was not going to let him be great, be elite anymore. Kobe. Now, then I put LeBron. A lot of people, because of LeBron's failures, don't even give him that consideration. I'll give it to him. He was again amazing talent, one of the most amazing talents I've ever seen. Here's the problem: where's your all-time great team? Where were you head and shoulders above your competition? Never was. Jordan was. They'll sit there and talk about how. I'm sitting there watching these Go Chain Kingdoms in that Facebook group, and I'm sitting there watching them talk about how Jordan didn't play enough All-NBA players. But then they'll list with 97, Malone won MVP, yet they don't list him as an All-NBA player. Wait a minute. How was Malone so you're shortchanging and you're just it's ridiculous, man.
Check this out, Rose. I'm glad you brought that up. The record, the cumulative record of Jordan's finals opponents is greater than what LeBron faced. And you could take, and I know LeBron went to 10 finals, but like I said, he was in a the superstar talent deficient conference. Especially once Derrick Rose got hurt, man, that was it. I mean, Boston aged out. Howard was gone into the West. Paul George suffered the rupture with a broken leg. So it was pretty much a free ride, and that's why seeding was not prominent. He knew that he didn't have to worry about clinching the top seed as long as he keep it around that 3rd seed or whatnot, because he knew he had it on lock. That's not competition. That's manipulating the scene. The Bulls didn't have the liberty to do that, or any other champion out there before this era of superstars joining forces took place. Like I said, all I can say is this, man. With the money on the line, when Jordan broke through and won that first championship. Contrary to what they say about it now, the whole basketball world, the country celebrated that man. They celebrated Michael Jordan, man, because they knew he elevated the sport of basketball. And I knew that. I'm a Laker fan. He beat us to win his first championship.
Let me answer, because this is I like to keep this interactive. Let me answer your last question, Random Clips. How was he not head and shoulders above the competition? He got a losing record against multiple other all-star greats in the playoffs. That's one. Oh, yeah. Jordan had a losing record against the Celtics, and Jordan had a losing record against the Pistons. That's it.
Wait a minute, Ro. Here go. I want to cut it, and then you
go ahead.
He say. See, this is the thing, man. This is where you're trying to pull a rabbit out the hat. Okay. He say, well, LeBron went to the finals at 22. Jordan in the league at 21. Well, the thing about it is, in the NBA during that time, this is how you know that these talking heads are literally they have literally sabotaged the ability to think when it comes to the league right now. There were no high school players entering the NBA during the 80s, and in college, unless there was two major exceptions. You had Isaiah Thomas, who did 2 years of college. Magic Johnson did 2 years of college. Everybody else on average doing 3 years. Your big men were required to do 4 years. Patrick Ewing 4 years. Akeem Olajuwon, he came out his junior year.
You was the hardship rule, all that. Yeah.
David Robinson had to do his 2-year naval commitment. So most of your big men back then, they had to do all 4 years before they entered the NBA, or they weren't gonna mess with you. So
it was advantageous as well. You would get more the idea of how to be coached in the post. It was a whole different skills. That's why they're better than they are now.
Right.
That's why they're better than what you see Karl Anthony Towns is. That's why Karl Anthony Towns gets 2 offensive fouls, because he doesn't understand how to keep a small guard behind him without having to use his elbow and all that.
and it's the nuances of the game. That's what. See, okay. Well, let me get back to
He was
the first
just
high
a
school
first
player who
round
was
exit.
drafted
His
in
team
the
was
80s.
not good. So again,
Yeah.
the same time you're talking about he was a first round exit. Well, LeBron wasn't even good enough to get to the league, and then to the playoffs. Then when he does, he plays against a Gilbert Arenas, the best player on the Wizards. Not there. He loses in the
A
second
team that
round.
played no defense.
Yeah,
See, and I'm gonna say this too, Ro. I'm gonna say this too. Okay.
ridiculous.
Well, first of all, the first high school player outside of like Daryl Dawkins of the late '70s who was selected out of high school was Sean Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in '89. Okay, and
And he
the
actually
thing
went to
about it
school,
is
but he really didn't play. Yeah.
they don't want you to penalize LeBron for being 22 in the finals, but once you win the league, you win the league. Once you win the league, you got celebrated for going to the finals. And that Spurs team, matter of fact, their whole playoff in 07 in the Eastern Conference, it was so boring, man. I fell asleep watching the games. Think
Oh
about it.
boy.
You had a defending champion who got eliminated in the first round, got swept. A defending champion in Miami Heat. Okay. Then you face a 41-41. Well, the upstart Bulls beat Miami in that first round. You played the Washington Wizards, like you said, without Agent Zero. He was coming off of
Yeah.
ACL. He was coming off the bench. He wasn't even start. Then you face a 41-41 Nets team who top three players was already hurt when the series started. So your resistance was minimal. Then you face a Detroit Pistons team who had no interior defense because Ben Wallace was playing for the Chicago Bulls. So what I'm saying is, when you go to the finals, you play the worst of the Spurs championship teams.
I need Randall Cook to answer me this question. Hold on. We'll let you get back to it. What was Kobe by age 23? So Kobe now by your same standard, because Kobe had won 2 championships by 22. So if we're gonna do the old age thing, you're glazing a
There you go.
finals run.
There you go.
You're glazing a finals run. But then Kobe, and see what again, he went scoreless for an entire half. I got to fact check that, but again, Michael Jordan as a rookie against the Bucks scored 29 points a game in that series.
And nobody said he was heading above Magic and Bird. What we're saying is he coming to the league in the heart of the stranglehold of the Lakers and Celtics.
Yeah.
Right? Well, nobody want to mess with maybe outside of '83 Philly, and then you had the Houston Rockets. So what I'm saying is that he came into the league in the heart of the '80s, right? And here come the Pistons. So every team, like Jordan's first round opponents, was superiorly better than the first round opponents LeBron had to go up against. If you stick LeBron in 1984 in the first round, having to play the Milwaukee Bucks,
it's not even the same
He
thing,
gonna
bro.
lose too. He gonna lose to the
But make him 22 years old as well. But here's the thing too. How many times has Jordan been the fourth best player in the series? Because we've seen that multiple times with LeBron, where he wasn't even number 2. Like he didn't just get outplayed by the other team superstar. He got outplayed by other players. And again, you're talking about once he did get help with Dwayne Wade. And again, what were they saying? Well, LeBron had to play a role he never had to play before. He had to play more off ball. Which Jordan, once they implemented the triangle and once they started running a lot through Scottie Pippen, was able to do seamlessly. This is why they're night and day better players. We don't know because that's an if. I know. It's all ifs. And again, I'm gonna ask you, when was Jordan outplayed by multiple players? When did that happen? When was Jordan outplayed by multiple other players in a playoff series? Both opponents and teammates.
Here go another one, bro. They say, because Shannon Sharp would say, well, Jordan could beat the '86 Celtics. Well, apparently nobody could beat them because in the second round they faced the Atlanta Hawks with Dominique Wilkins, who was the scoring champion that year. They swept them, and then they faced the Milwaukee Bucks in the conference finals. You had Terry Cummings on that team, who was a beast. You had Ricky Pierce, who was one of the top 6 men in the league.
Great thing.
Alton Lister, Sidney Moncrief, and they waxed them. And then they beat the Twin Towers, Akeem Olajuwon, Ralph Sampson, Robert Reed, Paul Herrera. What's the other
Yeah.
cat's name?
No. I know
Earl
the
Lloyd.
negative and the positive, though, sir. See, that's the thing. This is what see again. I'm not because that's not going to happen on this channel. And again, I know you look, you might miss the fact check, man. But see, what these guys do is I only have negative. No, I can talk about the triumphs as well. You were the one that came. He's the one that came in with the Jordan negative. And again, it's cherry picking. You got to cherry pick the only time. Oh, he went scoreless in half. I watched LeBron go 2 for 18 with 11 turnovers, my dude. Jordan has never had a game like that. Period.
And when you talk about being the GOAT, you have to, since you want to take it there, you have to look at everything.
No, see, the thing is, we're not going to only talk about triumph, sir. That's what y'all wanted. That's, again, okay, so we're going to only talk about triumph. Your guy got less. Your guy got less. Not only does he got less against all-time great teams. Because let's keep it real, against all-time, against elite great talent. Against the Utah Jazz, what elite? Now, the Utah Jazz knocked off Duncan and Robinson, because y'all want to act like Wade wasn't shit, but they knocked off Duncan and Robinson, they knocked off Hakeem, they knocked off fucking Hakeem, Barkley, and Drexler, and they swept Kobe and Shaq in his Lakers team. Okay, so he shot 3 for 18. How many did he score for that game? He scored 22. So that was a bad game. LeBron had 12 points and 11 turnovers, sir. You find me that on Jordan's playoff resume. You find me that in Jordan's career, period. Because not only will I have that, I have 4 for 16 in his first finals game with 7 turnovers. And mind you, these are all winnable down the stretch games. See, that's the problem. You can bring up the Jordan bad games. Jordan would correct it at some point during the series. I can bring up multiple series where LeBron just never, and again, because we started off on 2010, they got to make an excuse. Because again, remember the whole point is that Jordan had to leave. Jordan never had to leave. LeBron had to leave because he was never going to get the help. And again, I can accept that. You know what I'm saying? I can accept that. The Pistons put the Bulls out, sir. That's the next thing. The Pistons put the Bulls out. Just like the Celtics put LeBron's Cavs out. And then LeBron said, I can't beat the Pistons without help, so I'm going to go somewhere. Okay, maybe Jordan thought that too. Maybe Jordan thought he might have had to go to play with Patrick Ewing. But you know what? Again, like he said, because Jordan has a father that he loved. His father said, no, just hit the, and that's what they did. They went to work out. They went to got better. Of course, they wasn't better than the Pistons team. Of course, they wasn't better than the Celtics in 86. Celtics in 86, like we just went through, rolled down everybody. It's one of the greatest teams of all time. 5 Hall of Famers on that team. And then Danny Ainge. It's amazing, bro. Because again, that's what they like to do. They like to only, so they won't. Again, Jordan can own his play. That's the whole point. And I want to get, because this is the point. And I can almost guarantee when Jordan gets on that, whatever he decides to do, whether he mails in videos, whether he takes pre-recorded, whatever, Jordan is going to speak on the league, and everybody's going to sit and watch. I guarantee you. The Cavs weren't better than the Celtics. Okay, but see, that was LeBron's job to make them better. They won more in the regular season. See, the Bulls were underdogs coming in. That's the next thing. How many times did Jordan lose as a favorite? Never. How many times did LeBron lose as a favorite? Plenty of times. You're right. Will owns everybody statistically. That's why he's my number 2. LeBron does not own Jordan statistically. No, he doesn't. If you want to look at all-time numbers where he's basically played almost 9 full more seasons than Jordan, okay. But not in individual numbers. If you want to talk about his 1 assist title, where he played point, where he finally took the farce off and actually listed himself as a point guard, okay. And Jordan made the Bulls better. Here's the thing. That's why Jordan is the GOAT. And I wanted you to come on, but you was going to snipe in the comment. Jordan made the Bulls better to the point where they lost 55 games in 3 seasons at age 33, 34, and 35. LeBron has never done anything like that, even close. And he thought he was going to dominate the league like that, but he never did. LeBron had 5 Hall of Famers in his team and lost 52 games in 1 season. Come on, bro. Come on. Hey, number 1 is who? LeBron? Okay, I got the link. I'll drop the link right here. I posted it earlier. Let me make sure. Random clip. You probably on matter of fact. Hold on, because it's on my channel and it might be going. 1 second. You know, on me. I'm gonna highlight it. If it might be on my channel and you might be on the GoCat Podcast TV. Let me. I don't know if CW is around. He probably went to bed at this point. 38-6 and 80 missed 42 games. I got you. He put up 38-6. remember when he put up? And how many games did LeBron miss that year? Can you see the link there? I don't know if you can click it because if it might be in my chat and not in the GoCat because we are simulcasting. If not, I'm gonna have to. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on YouTube.
Hey, I'll link it.
Yeah, buddy, I tell you.
Listen, it's crazy, man. Because this is what they do. They want to only revise history, and they think people are stupid. But again, they don't know the facts, and they'll just cherry pick. Oh, Jordan lost here, and again, they'll say Jordan lost. They won't say the Bulls lost. They won't say, Jordan was not supposed to beat Larry Bird with Brad Sellers and Charles Oakley. They won't say that. There you go. GoCast put it in there. You the MVP. But if you want to pull up, man, if you want to pull up and explain, we it's all good. Let's go. I can pick a lot. It was a team okay, number 1. That was a team accomplishments in the week watered down. We already expanded on how the 90s was not watered down. We've already explained that. That's an asinine low IQ take. It just is because they had expansion. Again, we've already told you, expansion means economic success of the league. That's an important part of the element here, man.
Now check this out, Ro. They gonna sit here and crap on expansion. Well, if they realize if the league didn't expand during that time, you wouldn't have no team in Memphis. You wouldn't have no team in Miami. You wouldn't have no team in Charlotte. You wouldn't have no team in Minnesota right now.
Okay, man.
The teams that people are rooting for, they wouldn't have nothing down there in New Orleans either. You know what I'm saying? So
hold on. Let me talk to random clips. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. I sat there. I didn't cook dinner before my team played. My team just played a must-win game, and I'm now meeting. So when you come up, you can have it. I'll mute and let you spit off, and then I'll debunk everything you're saying. DMA will debunk everything you're saying. So pull up, like I said. So by the time you talking, I can mute up and I can eat my dinner because I didn't cook before the game started. Excuses. I'm eating on the mic. So goddamn what, bro? Goddamn. But you got it, man.
No, man, it's just a sad state of affairs, and what they don't realize is the argument's not going to hold because it don't stand on nothing tangible. That's what's crazy about it. It's not going. The history's always going to win out.
Oh God, bro!
There's no way that if you pull out a calculator and you divide it 6 into 6, that's 100%. If you divide, as I like to say, 3.5. If you divide 10 and 3.5, you will get 35%. Or if you want to go to 4 and 6 route, that's 40%. So that means this guy has lost more in championship play. For Jordan goes beyond the NBA. He was undefeated in international play. He was undefeated in Olympic play. The one championship in college, he hit the game-winning shot. So he has a knack for winning championship without losing. That's so freaking rare in team sports. It's frightening. So he set an unbelievable standard, man. And the only way they could try to state the case for this guy, they got to try to tear it down. But in the end, it's not going to work.
They got to tear it down. You know what it is? When they don't win, they got to come up for reasons that they didn't lose, that they didn't win. And so Randall Click was just a troll talking shit in the Western. Again, you never see, you asked for the link, you got the link, now you never say you come up. You using the fact that I was eating. You know what I'm saying? You using the fact that I was chewing on the mic. Again, like I said, you come up, state your case, but now it's so easy to snipe. And that's the thing about LeBron fans. It's so easy. They don't. This is what shout out to Zay. Shout out to Zay, who called out his boy Ant-Man. Because this is the problem with this generation. Ant-Man really sat there and said, I didn't get enough shots. Nigga, you are the franchise of you think anybody in Minnesota, including that coaching staff, if you'd have took 25 shots instead of 13,
they win.
Would have said you took too many shots?
They win the game.
Ooh, boy. STO, we know you a LeBron guy. Come on, state your case, because again, what y'all love to do is y'all love to shoot your shot, and when it don't hit, I was going for this. Bro, these guys were the favorite. So, Jordan, how many times series did this guy lose as the favorite? How many times was this team the favorite coming into they underachieved? That's the thing. This is what when I start taking points off LeBron for the compliment and for the non-triumphs, it's because guess what? Yeah. Remember I told you, man, it's like going to the casino. You bet big, you win big. You bet big, you lose a lot of money. You bet big and lose, it's a lot of money. So you put all the money on the line and then want to act like, oh no, I only bet $10. Get the fuck out of here. You went for a super team in 2023 with Russell Westbrook and all them guys. And you want to talk about AD being hurt for 42 games? So what? Next man up. You averaged 38-6, right? Why the hell did that team win 32 games? They were favorite coming in. They won 32 games. That never happened to a Jordan team. Never. Because guess what? Nobody expected big things from the Washington Wizards. It's that version of Jordan. It just came off winning the lottery in 2001. Nobody expected big things. Guess what? They still played better than expected basketball. And then you raise the stakes for Luka. They get knocked out at 5. Oh, and I remember some of you guys. Oh my God, they were gonna they were gonna do this. They're gonna get to the finals easily. My God, OKC don't stand a chance against them. They don't even get to OKC. They don't get out the. They don't again. The one game they won, bro. I'm not even going to. They won one game, and that's what I'm talking about. LeBron fans are like beds. They like people who think that when you go into a casino, you're gambling with Monopoly money, or you'll gamble Monopoly money and you expect real money to come out. That's what it is, and that's the difference, man. So, like I said, Falk and Rich Paul's clapback was just completely idiotic. You're talking about Falk building his client base, and you're comparing that to the same thing that Jordan like that had anything to do with Jordan. Yeah, Jordan got his agents, the other big players in the league. But guess what? The other big players in the league want other teams. LeBron gets a big player on it, and he gets him on his team. And then he makes the reason why his team don't win every year the other player. That's the difference in here, man. Somebody came up? Oh, Sports Falk took on. How you doing, bro? Kid, man, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay, SCO, man. The floor is yours, whatever you want it, bro. All right. So I don't know if you muted or not. I don't. Let me see. I unmute you. Oh, so he told. Okay, so he's just in there listening. At any point, let me know you want to speak. Oh, you have a mic problem. Okay. So if anything, bounce out and I'll put you back on stage because that's what usually fixes it. Or just check your settings. But yeah, man. I mean, look. Again, and I just wanted to really kind of get into exactly what Jordan does because again, Jordan's not coming on. It's shit on LeBron or shit on his legacy. I think Jordan's coming in to push the league because that's the main thing that Falk was talking about. How while they were competing against each other on the court, they were building a business all around the court. Patrick Ewing and Jordan were the big leaders of the Players Association. The biggest players were the biggest leaders of the Player Association because they understood that our stardom is growing the league. You understand what I'm saying? You know, the more money the league makes, the more money we make. And it wasn't just about money, but obviously you got a chance to make generational wealth to feed your family for years and ages to come. And that's what it was about. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, you talk again. We're cherry picking with the LeBron. I think again the league has grown because of the popularity of the sport, which was again, like I said, with Jordan, kind of like the Big Bang, man. It was the Big Bang, like nothing. Like it was just going to expand. Nothing was going to stop it. You know, the popularity of the league and the ratings, like it's still a profitable league because it's tickets to get to the game. You know, to get the people going to spend extra money to get tickets to go to the game. They're going to, people going to the networks are going to want it for their content. You know, the whole nine. That's all good. It's all good, SEO. You say, yeah, what's the name is not working. But, again, we here to inform, man. We here to inform. It's crazy. Like I said, we nitpick stuff, and again, you could say this about Jordan. He had bad games, of course. He never had a bad series. Again, you got to tell me the bad series he had. And all you can got is his rookie year, his second year, his third year, and then the 3 years he got knocked out by the Pistons. So all-time Milwaukee team, there's a really, really talented Milwaukee team, an all-time Celtics team, 3 great Pistons teams. And after that, now the league is now the league becomes watered down and expansion and all. Bro, I mean, what can we say? Business history, as we explain it, expansion means health of the league. Expansion means guys like other great players, because anybody that plays Division I, if you're a great Division I player, there's a lot of great Division I players that had to go overseas. Again, Bruce Bowen being one of them, right? You make out Bruce Bowen to be this all-world defender that Jordan never had to play. Well, Jordan did have to play against Bruce Bowen. Problem is, it was at the end of his first run. Jordan played against Bruce Bowen. Jordan played against Ben Wallace again when Ben Wallace was just a bench warmer. Let's be fair. So again, like Rich Paul, and again, these guys got to revise history because the lowest brow things are but Jordan. Because again, you got to knock off the top guy. You got to knock him off the perch to make it attainable for you. Instead of LeBron coming out here, and they know any dominant performances, and like LeBron don't got it in him. LeBron could not last the fourth quarters of this playoff series against Ant-Man. He couldn't. He didn't have no gas in the fourth quarter. We all saw it. and that's cool. Like no one expects you to be in tip top condition at 40. No one like I said this. LeBron had to play defense in this series because unfortunately, as you know, right, man, the Lakers had no defenders. So LeBron actually had to play. He couldn't hide behind AD's defense. AD's no longer there. So AD couldn't correct his defensive mistakes. You understand what I'm saying? AD couldn't correct his defensive mistakes, and now he has to be the AD, and it took a lot out of him. When you have to play both sides of the ball, yeah, that's how it works. And at 40 years old, yes, LeBron is human. And he still had a great season. I mean, I could argue whether he deserved All NBA second team or not. Maybe he deserved All NBA third team. Unfortunately, when I look at it, right, Kevin Durant didn't play enough games to qualify. He could have probably been on that second team if he didn't get injured at the end. I think he only played 59 or 61 games or something like that. I would have to look it up. There was the forward. So Tatum definitely was a forward. And you see, actually, the second and third team, they chose 3 guards on each one of those teams. I actually think some of the centers, and again, Karl-Anthony Towns being a center, they actually listed him as a forward. They kind of did it a forward, guard thing. And now they do front court, back court now. They don't do 3 centers and 3. You know what I'm saying? That's how they do because guess what now? As another thing that folks said, he obviated the center position. Up until Jordan, you had to have a dominant center. They felt to be able to be a true contender the most easily way. There were very few teams that were built out of the backcourt, right? Were built where the backcourt was the best player. Period. Even in the 70s with West and Baylor, for them to get through and actually win, they needed the will. And they did it the one time in 72. They got to the finals in 70 and 74, played the Knicks, right? 70 and 74, no, 70 and 73, played the Knicks and lost to the Knicks. So, up until then, like I said, centers were the best way to get a championship team, and Jordan made it to where you could build around a dominant guard. So again, that's another way occasionally. And now you get to the point where it's all guards, and you barely have any centers. That's why there was 2 centers on the All NBA teams. I could have went for Sengun. I mean, I could have saw Sengun. I could have saw your boy Zubac. I could have saw I could have saw Sabonis. Again, that team missed the playoffs. That's why another reason. And again, the 51 wins. That's the thing that happened. They won 51 games. So, okay, they put that in LeBron's corner. But as far as both sides of the ball and actually playing, I mean, I'm not going to argue him being an All-NBA period, but I think it was players that were better than him. They got to the they were on the all third team. Like, I mean, who was on the all third team? Like Kay Cunningham for one. I think Kay Cunningham had a way better season than Jordan. I mean, than LeBron this year. Way better. But LeBron is the guy that whatever the case may be, because either way, getting on the All NBA means you can qualify for Supermax. Jared Jackson Jr. missed it by 1 vote. They said. Mm-hmm. He had a great two-way, but again, what was in there? What was held against him? Probably the fact that the Memphis fell off to the AC. Now again, Memphis won 48 games or 48, and in the 2 seed or 3 seed, the Lakers they won 2 more games. But again, that seeding matters. It matters to these votes. So yeah, supposedly Jared Jackson Jr. lost a lot of money, but that goes to show you, winning and losing is a very thin line. Yeah, like I said, for the big man. Remember, the Bulls when they drafted him, they took out a full-page ad apologizing for not drafting Sam Bowie. See, now we look at Sam Bowie being drafted by the Blazers as the biggest gap in NBA history, but people don't understand that Sam Bowie, as long as he could walk, the Blazers were going to pick him over Jordan. The one, they already had Clyde Drexler, who they felt was a dominant guard they could build around. But again, the whole idea was to get the dominant big man. And in Jordan was so great. He like this is a word that I just learned, an SAT word. He obviated the center position to the point where now only the Denver Nuggets, only the Denver Nuggets and Philadelphia 76ers are teams built around the center. What other team is built around the center in the league, man?
Oh, what was that? Dominant centers right now?
Yeah, what team is built around it? Like the center is the centerpiece of what they do. It's only two teams.
Yeah, I would say, well,
Denver and Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, when Embiid was packed in for the season, that was it. Yeah. And obviously Denver is that's it. No other team. I mean, even though Sengun might technically be the best player on Houston, I mean, it's supposed to be Jalen Green. You know, they'll figure out their issues. I'm sure Udoka will. There's no other team you can say is built around the center. Not one. I mean, after the trade, Vucevic became the best player on the Bulls, but you can see they still wasn't running everything through him. It pretty much became the Kobe White and Josh Giddey show. You know, every other team now, even with the Knicks, with Karl-Anthony Towns, that's Brunson's team, and Karl-Anthony Towns is the guy that they, you know, is a second option. But no other team other than those two teams are built around the center. Back then, almost every team was built around the center. Now again, you could have like with the Pistons, you know, they had great center play, and the guard Isaiah Thomas was their man. But again, a lot of people feel even with Kareem declining, the Lakers don't go to the finals without Kareem. Huh? The Lakers don't win them championships without Kareem, and that's understandable. So again, a lot of these guys, LeBron and all them, they come in off the league that Jordan changed. He was that good that he changed the way people thought about basketball and NBA basketball. You know what I'm saying? So again, all those things are contained. And again, Rich Paul just showed he knows nothing about NBA history. He just cherry picks like all the rest of the fanboys. And again, I'm not really trying to knock LeBron, but again, I want people to understand what Rich Paul, because even Rich Falk, I mean, even what David Falk was saying was not really knocking, not trying to destroy LeBron. He wasn't trying to, but he was talking a lot of truth. And it's like, yeah, you cherry pick teams, and you weren't as successful. If he was successful, we would have an argument. He wasn't as successful. And then we come up with the reasons why. So is this reason why and that reason why. That's the problem. And so again, Jordan is not. I don't think Jordan is really too classy, as people close to him would say. You don't even think about this GOAT debate shit. What Jordan is going to come up there and do.
You can tell you don't either, man.
Yeah. What Jordan's going to come up there and do is give an honest take on the league. He's going to push some of these players that the league is kind of overlooking all throughout the league. He's going to stop making it a Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron show. Again, this is not to knock any of these guys. He's going to probably give them their flowers too. But he's going to realize, hey, look, the future of the league is not in them. You're talking about a guy's going to be 41, 38, and 37 at the beginning of the next playoffs. And they can still play great. But you see the Final Four. Ant-Man, SGA, Jalen Brunson, and I'm missing. Oh, Halliburton. All these guys are under 30. You feel me? All these guys are under 30. That's who needs to be pushed. You know, and again, you've got great, you know, the finals have actually had great. I mean, this conference finals has actually been great games. Tonight was another great game. All four of the games. I know, you know, it came down to what they won by 6. It came down to last couple of possessions. The final score, again, you know, there was a 9-point game. Knicks made a couple of fouls. But yeah, it came down to the final possession. They just got it down to 3. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, man, I'm doing well. Again, like I said, I've been here. I've been here before, down 3-1 as a Knicks fan. I've been in every position except for winning the damn championship. Of course, y'all gonna continue to remind us. I'm sure my Instagram and Facebook feed, all them Celtics fans and the Celtic group I went in, because they keep talking they mess. Again, bro, you know what I told you many times, Jermaine. It's about the journey. It's about the journey, not the destination. I think people don't understand that about Knicks fans, man. That's why we're partying, because guess what, bro? After 15 years of having teams that would never, yeah, it will be. If we wanted them, just like game one of 95. I'm just hoping we can right the wrong, man, and come back from 3-1 at this point. Again, I was completely wrong. The Knicks are going to stop a mud hole in the Pacers. Yeah, the Knicks did not come out playing their best basketball, and the Pacers are playing great basketball, without a doubt. You know what I mean? But again, this is part of legacy. Losing is not the worst thing in the world, man. It's not. It's not. Again, LeBron's losses, yeah. The problem is with the narratives that Clutch Sports and all of them make is they lead the media to just basically take all the blame off of him. And again, look, everybody on the Knicks got to take responsibility for what happened in this series. Again, we were favored at the end of the day. Not a huge favorite, we're favorite. And to lose that game one, to not get it back in game two, have to steal game three. I mean, at the end of the day, the Pacers have played with leads. And again, the same thing happened with the Celtics. So, again, if you don't win them games at the end, it's the whole change, the whole different tone. Knicks going to have to make a lot of improvements next year. But again, it's always, but LeBron finds a way. No, I'm great. My teammates aren't great. That's the only thing that that I have the criticism about. Because again, you're gonna go to this stat and that stat. We had 38-6. You had 38-6 on a losing team. Who cares? There's a lot of players that had Purvis Short averaged 28 points a game in Jordan's rookie year. His career high with the Golden State Warriors. Didn't even make an All-NBA team or the All-Star team. Averaging 28 points a game. So obviously the league won that watered down. I'm just saying. Guy that averaged 28 points a year, Jordan's rookie year, didn't make the All-Star team, All-NBA team, anything. Because again, they were on a losing team, right? They were on a losing team. But that's how it goes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got to move Tibbs along somehow. But Tibbs cannot be the head coach of the New York Knicks. Or he can't be the unchallenged head coach of the New York Knicks. I would say if you're gonna bring back Tibbs, at least bring in a very confident or hot shot. And if the team aren't as dominant as they felt they're building, then move them along. But I actually think a new coach to have a fresh training camp, everything. I think we should go to Mike Malone route. I think like we couldn't do worse than Mike Malone. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. So, yeah, again, I got to certain points and I saw, I was asking, did you see any of the Falk interview and the Rich Paul response or whatever?
Yeah, actually, I did. I saw what he said on Rich Eisen show, and like I said, man, it's just he was mumbling words, trying to come up with something.
And think about that man. That man pretty much works for your team. He works for the Lakers. He said it numerous times, even though he's not supposed to be working for the Lakers as a player agent to many, many players.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy, and he just doesn't get it. They do so much. I want to say, like, bro, as hard as you go for LeBron at this stage of his career, again, his resume should be unquestioned. But somehow y'all got to keep doing it. Why don't you ever go that hard for Anthony Davis? Why don't you ever go that hard for the rest of your client roster? Why aren't you pushing them towards certain accolades and stuff, man? It's weird. It's like a weird cult, bro. So I mean, yeah. We're gonna be wrapping up soon, man. It's been a good show. Again, I was, the first part of the show, I was doing this. I was doing the play-by-play in the second half, and you joined me to have the Rich Paul again. Rich, trust me, David Falk. I ain't heard from David Falk publicly in a long time. I forgot. He's still like he's now like he's not. I don't think he's representing many players in the league today. But I know he probably worked out Jordan's deal and all that, right, with NBC. And I'm sure he's probably like pretty much retired and, but him's coming out to speak. That ain't no coincidence, man. That ain't no coincidence. And I think he's preluding to what Jordan will. And again, it's not, Jordan did not come back. Just like Jordan didn't drop, what it was, the Last Dance to shit on LeBron or remind, but Jordan will remind you who he was. He will remind you, and again, he will push the league. He will push the league the way it needs to. He's helping his boys at NBC because that's the thing, right? NBC is paying a lot of money. He needs them to get they need to get a return on their investment. So they're going to have a partnership with Jordan to come in there and help keep generating interest. And Jordan will put the league over. He'll put the league over, not just LeBron James. He won't make LeBron James head and shoulders above everybody else because he's not. It's just at this point in his career. Bro, there's a lot of players that deserve that spotlight. Like Ant-Man face of the league, you're not. You're not. Trust me. If anybody should be the face of the league, it should be Giannis, Joker. But again, you're talking about foreign players, and they're like, bro, there's a lot of Jason Tatum could be one, even though he's going to be hurt, unfortunately. A lot of players that should be pushing the face of the league before Anthony Edwards. And again, last night, shout out to Zay. We got to kill him for that. We just got to kill him for that. There's no excuse for you taking 13 shots. When your counterpart, when your other stars dropping 40 and damn near triple-double, 40-point triple-double. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, man. So, anything else? I don't really like. What are you going to be doing your lives on, man? I keep telling you to record your lives, bring it to Facebook. We're gonna start clipping shit up, bro. That's how we're gonna grow this channel.
Yeah.
I have a few things that I gotta listen to clip up because, man, we gotta start putting shorts out there. They gotta be less than 3 minutes, and then the ones like I learned this today. If you're gonna do a clip, if you're gonna do a short with music. They'll let you put music on it, but it got to be less than a minute. So the clip got to be less than a minute. A short itself got to be less than 3. But if you want to put music in the background, it'll be less than 1. And then, any videos we do in the future, you know what I'm saying? We got to get into the video editing and stuff and like that. But, it's been a good week, man. Shout out to Zay for letting me be on your platform, man. I grew a couple of guys in the chat here. They come from Zay's platform. You know what I mean? Zay has grown a nice channel. Real funny. He really put the belt to ass on Ant-Man. And I told him told him last night he needed to. That was just a bad. It was because you're talking about making it right. That sounds so, hate to say it, bro. That sounds so LeBronish.
Yeah.
Bro, you're down 2-1. Ain't no reason you should not take a shot in the first. Like I did get he was facilitating the first quarter. Guys were actually eating around him, and that's true. But there was times where you needed to be aggressive, and you just didn't. You just wasn't. I'm sorry, it's crazy, but they won't understand, man. Jordan, win or lose, he put it on the shoulder again. The 8 shot game notwithstanding, because that's one thing they'll criticize. That's why he got all those scoring titles. He took the most shots. He took the most shots because he worked the most shots out. Like I didn't take enough shots to struggle. I've never heard any dumb shit like that, man. What are they talking about? You only taking 13 shots mean you played passive. And no one's saying just chuck up shots. But I don't know anybody on that team that OKC got that should be. It wasn't like Caruso was guarding you. It was pretty much Lou Dort.
Well,
And you should be killing Lou Dort. You should be like, at this point, again, it was a 2-point game down the stretch. You don't need to win this. That was the first close game, the whole game of the series. So I think I've seen so far when nobody got a big 15, 20, 30-point lead. So, I mean, there you have it, man. There you have it. So, yeah, it's one locally, man. We're gonna wrap up. This was a great show, man. I hope like I said, I'm gonna try to do 2 shows a week, and if we got to do Tuesdays from now on, you let me know how we doing, man. You let me know how I do, because I always want you up here, bro. Yeah, insight and
absolutely.
No doubt, man.
As always, man, and the history will win out, man, in the end.
Yeah. Again, I'm glad. I'm happy for the league. Again, as a Knicks fan, being this close to the finals. I look, if God let me live next year and the next few years, I think the Knicks are in a really good position. We're gonna talk about a lot of that come the off season, right? About with the salary cap stuff and the player. There's gonna be a lot of players moving around. That's the thing about today's league, man. It's not meant for teams to stay. Like if you build your team right, the Knicks will bring back the whole squad next year because everybody's under contract, pretty much. I mean, other than Precious Chua, the guy, Campaign, Shamit, those guys at the end of the bench, the rookies are locked into place, and unless we trade them, but everybody else is pretty much coming back. The core is coming back. A lot of teams gonna have to figure out what they're doing. Celtics, one of them, Lakers. What are they gonna put around Luka? LeBron has opted in, as you saw today, right?
Yeah,
opted in. We all knew he was gonna do that. He was not gonna make himself a free agent, and frankly, even if he walked, nobody's giving him that money, and so. Well, yeah, man. Let me see. We're gonna sign off. I'm gonna have to hit my boy CW if this not working. Yeah, I'm at my boy CW to let him know. And man, until the next one, man. And I will be around for Game 4. I'm probably gonna have to go eat some crow Vecino channel because they probably wondering where I am. Road, yeah, they tell I'm ducking when I come over there. So he's letting Celtics fans talk their shit. Every other indicator. It's Knicks versus everybody, man. You know how it go.
Oh yeah.
No. Shout out to MT. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate you. I hope y'all like this. I hope y'all subscribe to the channel. You understand what I'm saying? Even if it's not my channel, y'all on Sportscast Sportcast Hoops and Sportcast GoCast, the GoCast podcast. You understand what I'm saying? This is 10 Toes Down podcast, and we will be signing off, guys. Peace.
All right, fellas. Have a good
one. Have a good one.